Let's go. What's up?
Hello.
Ziggurat Greg? What are you, a zigger?
Wow. There really is something about that hard R ending to like any word at all.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me give some context here. Jesus Christ.
What?
That profile picture. That's something else there.
Yeah. Nice. Oh, so we both went historic with it, I see.
Yeah.
We have to have
Historical.
telepathy eventually to the point where like we choose the same image. Have you seen those Minecraft telepathy videos?
No.
Okay, well, my feed's clearly different than yours. But you know, there are sometimes these videos where these guys playing Minecraft, they start to like place blocks down, and they're like, "All right, 3, 2, 1, place," and then they look at each other's blocks, and they're like, "Oh, I see what you were doing that with that. Oh, I see where we're going," and then they place another block to try and match it, and they keep trying to do that until they can or can't match it by the end of the video. And so I'm thinking eventually we might get to the point where we are becoming telepathic with this, and our profile pictures are the same. So now that we both went historic with it, I think, you know, we can see where each other's going. So I think next week it's possible we may be closer.
Pause.
Yeah, very big pause. That was actually very sus. So Mr. Greg, what is your, actually, not even just how has your past week been? You know, that's a question, very standard, very boilerplate. The audience can see it coming from a mile away. Pause. So let me ask you instead, what is your collection of choice for today as far as sustenance for this show?
Well, right now, nothing, because I ate it. I was expecting us to, yeah, I was expecting an earlier convention. But what I did have was 2 teaspoons of maple syrup and then a mango popsicle.
Yes, I see. You were telling me about these mango popsicles. You're raving about them.
They're pretty goddamn good.
You know what I need? I need some good candy. Something, I was going to say something really suspicious. You know, the thing is, like, the popsicle too, it's like the candy and the popsicle, something you can say about them that sounds suspicious but really isn't meant to be is like, yeah, you could just sit there and suck on them.
Yeah.
But it's true that you can do that. It's just the fact that you say it like that is the problem.
Like the ninja pacifiers.
Ninja?
Yeah.
Like the streamer?
Yeah, he wanted ninja pacifiers, and he said he wanted...
That is... Bro, we've already had Doc Disrespect. We had EDP. Not this year, but we had EDP. We had Kris Tyson. Bro, what is with these YouTubers doing this sus shit?
I mean, technically, he's a streamer.
Okay, YouTuber, streamer, whatever. Online content creator that makes videos geared toward the youth. Why is it that these people are so suspicious? Everything they do, all their moves are sus.
Yeah.
And guess what? I wasn't even going to bring this up until later in the show, but Kris Tyson of Mr. Beast is a PDF file.
What is he? What was he? His life name or whatever?
Ava.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
I saw this reel where it was like, oh, so did you hear Kris was a PDF file? Or no, it was somebody saying Kris is a PDF file, and somebody's like, oh, so you heard the news? And the other guy's like, what news? It's like a Chad versus like a Chud. Yeah, it's incredible, honestly, because it made me laugh. I saw it when I woke up this morning. Unfortunately, I'm somebody that also sometimes pulls up some reels when I wake up. The cycle has not been broken, unfortunately.
See, I don't do... Wait.
Yeah, well, you talk about doing that for like an hour sometimes when
hold on,
when you don't need to be anywhere.
Nowadays, I do it for direct investment analysis.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean by direct investment? Direct into what?
I mean, I'm benefiting in one way or another based on the analyses of my feed.
Like, to later use on the show?
Yeah, we'll say that.
Okay, so you didn't have any like analysis benefit, but you decided, hey, I'm actually just going to create that, like make that up. And then once something said that sounds good enough for me to agree to, I'll agree to it. Okay, so here it is.
What?
Well, okay. Anyway, you saw the news. What news? Yeah, there we go. So I guess we'll talk about that because honestly, I like I said, I was gonna have let's see. I guess I got to like move around what we were gonna do for the show because I had to mention that. So let me just rearrange my notes here for this.
You got notes?
Yeah.
Damn.
Because I have links and all that of stuff I want to pull up. I've been professional with this. Okay, so we're gonna pull up a Kris status. Yeah, Ava Kris Tyson, bruh. He made it his middle name. So Kris, aka Kris, aka Ava. and by that I meant CH and K as two different versions of Kris, of course. Had an apology statement, but first I guess we gotta review the actual I don't even think we need to pull up the evidence because I mean it's on Twitter. Drama Alert's been posting about it. I think we can just talk about that and then show Kris.
Well, hold
on.
I'm in the dark on this. I just know about the conclusion.
Okay. Well, I can tell you what happened. It's just I guess we could pull it up. Let's see.
Which would be more TOS?
That's a good point. So here's the thing. They're probably gonna have a lot of like messages and stuff that we shouldn't really be. It's not that we shouldn't be even showing it for the most part. It's just things that like you don't know how much you have to censor for not even TOS, but just like monetization purposes, what YouTube friendly, what is not. But yeah, I guess what we'll talk about here, Kris had a apparently there's a video here too of him commenting on 14-year-old bad baby. So
wait, I forgot she existed, bro.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I remember people mentioning that it was saying that she looked good. Like he said she looked good when she was that age. And also there's like, okay, so this is even outside of like the actual direct predatory stuff. Just him being an a-hole. He posted like Jeanette McCurdy's, revenge corn in the description of his YouTube video, So like, he's just spreading that there. He's like, so I mean, just as far as like, what we're talking about when it comes to what YouTubers should and shouldn't be doing, he was just saying like, yeah, guys, like I really think it's disgusting, but honestly, like, I know there's going to be people that want to see it anyway, so I'm going to link it in the description.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So he posted Jeanette McCurdy. I mean, it was like, I don't know how graphic that got. It's just they were explicit images of her to my knowledge. You remember that whole thing happened with her?
Wasn't that part of the? I thought that was when it happened to like 50 different people at once.
I'm not exactly sure about that, but oh wow. So there's actually like Drama Alert's been posting crazy about this. But point being is that Kris had basically been in like group chats and DMing a boy who was a minor. He didn't have any sort of like hat or pickaxe, so I guess Kris couldn't tell. But the thing is here that
I just saw the St. Patrick's Day episode on South Park where Butters gets arrested for pinching a girl, and he's like, "You're under arrest for assaulting a minor." A minor? I didn't even see she had a pickaxe or anything.
Yeah, no, but here's the thing. So Kris was talking to this boy. I need to find the exact ages, honestly, but yes, no, this was not like an okay age gap, even if like we're not talking about 16 and 18, it's not shit like that. It's like this boy was like some 13 or 14 to my knowledge, and then Kris was like in his 20s. I just need to see if we can find the exact post on that just so I can verify that. There's been a lot of Drama Alert posting. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, well, anyway, Kris here is talking about there's a tweet. See, this is like one that I can't even really, I guess. Okay. Let me see. Let me actually like just pull up the first stuff before I talk about everything else. But okay. So Drama Alerts talking about Kris Tyson for Mr. Beast is being accused of talking online to minors. 2 videos over the last 30 days outline an alleged sexually inappropriate relationship with a minor that started with the minor at age 13 with plans to meet up with the same minor at age 16. I need to see how old Kris was. I don't know if they talk about it directly here, but you know, obviously Kris is like older at that. Okay, Kris Tyson was 20. That's what it was. And he joked about exchanging graphic pictures of himself with the same minor. So that's what was going on. So there was like, he was like in group chats with him. He was saying a lot of things that just go over the line as far as what you should be saying to somebody that's underage, even in a joking manner. You know, these are not things you should be talking about kids with or talking to kids about. And if you are, like, I don't see why you would be doing that unless, you know, there was something suspicious going on. But basically, yeah, they had plans of meeting up before the kid was even 18. I mean, obviously, it's regardless, it would be grooming if you're like, let's just wait until you're 18 and you're talking to this kid since like 13. So yeah, this is what has been talked about with Kris, but it goes beyond that because Kris has other stuff that shows signals of this, other than the fact that, well, I guess we don't need to say it directly. I guess we should. Yeah. But you know, the meme that we showed earlier, the reel should talk. It should speak volumes about this anyway. So Kris has a tweet that Drama Alert posted as well, where he said, "Nothing gets my knob a cranking like some," and then Japanese depictions of like 5,000-year-old goblins that look like little kids. So you know that genre. He's saying he's cranking it to that. Back in 2016, he said this. Now it's like, okay, well, people were saying like stuff, weird stuff back in the day. Like this was a meme, but like even so, it's like who was really saying they were doing that? Other than maybe minors who were like trolling on the internet, which it's like at that point, it's not as bad as if you're an adult, saying that, because that's even weirder. It's still bad, but it's like if you're a kid, you're just kind of retarded,
Yeah.
And Kris is like an adult. He knows what he's saying, bro. But and then at the same time, guess what? So Kris had at the very least contact with a man named Shadman. Are you familiar?
No.
Shadman is a gentleman who depicts people who are not of the mindset to be consenting because they are young, and he depicts them in his content. You haven't seen this man named Shadman? People memeing about him. They're like posting like the censored artwork. Well, if you can really call it that. But anyway, basically the man even depicted Keemstar's at the time like 8-year-old daughter, and people were saying it's an okay thing to do.
Yeah, this is the first I'm hearing about this.
Kris was saying it was okay to do, and Kris even had commissioned or bought artwork, if you can call it that again, from Shadman depicting I don't know exactly who this one was depicting or what it was supposed to, but point being, this is literally, and it's in a Mr. Beast video. You can see he has a poster of it up of a young girl on a poster who is, in a very revealing, I don't know if she's fully naked or if it's like underwear or what. It's pretty gross either way. And then she's like pointing a gun in her mouth. It's like shit like this, dude. So this has been years in the making. And we already talked about Kris's odd relationship with that Carl guy. I mean, I know we weren't even talking about like, necessarily like kids at the time, but we were talking about how that was just suspicious, the way they were talking.
Yeah. And I'm going to be honest. I did not really follow the Mr. Beast lore at all. I don't know why I'm saying it like it's in the past. I still don't. So this is all just fresh.
Think about this. So
exactly.
No, but the thing is, like I found, because I didn't even know what video that was from. It was the video Mr. Beast made tipping pizza drivers or pizza delivery drivers. And honestly, Kris must have been a pizza delivery driver in this video.
Well, no, he'd be the one getting the pizza.
Yeah. He's not delivering it. Shadman was the pizza delivery guy. Exactly. I wonder how much he tipped him. But I feel like I'm the first one to make this joke. I'm proud. But the thing here is that he did have that poster up in the video. You can see it. You can't really see like, it's that, what it is. Kris posted it before. I have not seen like the full, like, so I don't know exactly what it's depicting on the lower end of things, I don't know. At the very least, it's in underwear, and very suggestive posing of face and such. The thing is, this was in the video. I didn't even realize this. I saw somebody post a link to the video with the timestamp to show where it was at, just so that you could see it in the background, verifying it. Like, it's not like in, you can't see everything. You just see the poster. So I was like, okay, well, let me make sure, people are like real about this. So, I saw it there, and then I realized this is a video from like 2017. I had watched this video before, because I actually had a like already on the video from Mr. Beast, just watching his content back in the day. I'm like, holy shit, dude. It's like, I was watching this nigga, like, I didn't even remember watching Mr. Beast, honestly. I didn't even know if it was like, I don't even know that 100% it was me watching it. I might have given one of my cousins a tablet or something, because I don't really remember watching it like that. Like, but maybe I did on the off chance I did just one time it showed up in my feed. I don't know. I never really was an avid Mr. Beast watcher, so I don't understand why like I had liked it already. I don't remember this.
I didn't even know who Mr. Beast was until like a year or two ago.
I mean, I think I might have just known and not known who he was, and might have just seen, like, because maybe the video was just blowing up. I don't know. It's weird to me because I wasn't expecting that. But anyway, Ava has a post giving yeah, Ava has a post. What kind of name is Ava anyway?
Like etymologically, it's a variation of Eve.
From where? Who varied it? Who modified it?
Well, I'd imagine the Germans. I don't know.
All right, let's see. So here's his quote unquote apology. I would like to apologize for any of my past behavior or comments if it hurt or offended anyone. Yup. Okay, that's great. It was not my intent. Yeah, that's totally what people are mad about. If you offended anyone or hurt in the sense of, like, because he makes it sound like he just means offended twice rather than actually like harmed somebody or brought any sort of traumatic damage to anyone, or funded somebody who depicts a certain thing that is not okay. And so, seeing recent events, we've mutually decided it's best I permanently step away from all things Mr. Beast, good, and social media to focus on my family and mental health. Well, I don't know that we really want you focusing on your son anymore.
Yeah, we're good on
mental
that
health.
Part.
It clearly has not been focused on at all recently. I mean, this is like, how could you say, like, I don't know. Honestly. The thing is, right?
It's funny. Oh shit! No, never mind. It is spelled differently. I was looking at the actual tag, because the name is Ava, but then the tag is still Kris. But that's like the female spelling or whatever. Even though I don't even know if that's really a standard thing, but whatever.
I mean, I had a teacher back in the day. Her name was Christina, and when she introduced herself to my dad, she said, "Hi, I'm Kris."
That's sus.
If I had known about this back in time, I would have been like, holy shit. Yeah, no, she wasn't hot though. So it wasn't like, there would have been no benefit in her being that kind of person to me.
Wait, what? Now I'm confused.
I'm saying if her name was Kris and that meant she was a predator, me being underage, she wasn't hot, so it wouldn't have benefited me.
Jesus.
Look, that's not to diminish people that have been through traumatic experiences, because look, I mean, even if there's not such a big age difference, even like 18 and 14, even if there's a woman that's like, okay, it depends on the 14-year-old, honestly, because me at 14, I don't think I'd be saying I'm traumatized, though a lot probably wouldn't be saying it, even if they are. But the thing I'm saying here is that, like, I know of a thing where, like, this 18-year-old girl was with a 14-year-old guy, and he later came to regret it. And like he didn't really know exactly as much, as she did, as what he was agreeing to, you know what I mean? So it's like, okay, they're like, that's not to diminish that experience. Now, I'm just saying, me personally, if I were 14 and it was a hot woman, because this wasn't a hot woman, to be fair, even the one that he was with. I'm just saying, I mean, it wouldn't be so bad thinking back on it, is all I'm saying. For me, okay?
I'm not touching this.
The views just expressed by my co-host reflect only his perceptions, not mine. We're gonna leave it at that.
That was a beautiful string of words, in my opinion, that I had produced, because it's just top tier entertainment to be talking like that, honestly. But look, viewers, I don't condone any sort of abuse. I don't think that being with a woman, who fully knows what she's consenting to, as opposed to a boy, even if it's a boy and a woman, I don't think a boy who doesn't know fully what he's consenting to is like, I don't think that's right. Okay, I didn't say I think that's right, and honestly, I think it's very wrong. But I'm just saying, me personally, I'm just gonna stop there.
I think the message you're trying to deliver has been received enough.
Well, that South Park episode where it's like it's called Teachers Banging a Boy. Yeah, and then the cops are like, oh my God, like, and then they're like, and he's like, yeah, it was my brother, and it was like the teacher and Miss Stevenson. They're like, the hot blonde, nice. See, I mean, like, okay, like, you shouldn't be saying that. I'm serious. You shouldn't be saying that to instances like that.
It was funny. I mean, not funny, but it's even worse because in that episode, his brother's like, what, like 5?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, you shouldn't be saying that because, again, they're in, like, it doesn't really matter if it's a man or a boy or a girl, because, they can still have trauma from it. Point being is, like, you remember there was one cop, he's like, where was she when I was in school? See, it's like that. Like, is that, I don't know, because people say, like, that's such a bad thing to say, but it's like, I don't know. I guess I'm just going to stop for real this time. I'm going to stop.
I think, yeah, we're just
it's just, man, it's like, I think people get what I'm saying, though.
I think the message that you're trying to deliver is clear enough where it can be perceived without distortion. However, that message is yours and yours alone.
Yeah, okay, sure. I will agree to that. And so, speaking of predators, have you seen, because I sent you a reel where it was like all the comments were like, nice try, Diddy. I've seen on almost every ad that I've scrolled past these days, I check the comments, and almost all of them say, nice try, Diddy.
Yo, yeah, because you sent me that, and I was like, oh, this seems like a decent product or whatever. And I was looking for what to find in the comments or whatever, and I was like, it was just all nice try, Diddy.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, bro, it's like Diddy's become the feds to people. It's like Diddy is just he is the like predatory symbol at this point.
Yeah.
Which is great. It's great.
I mean, it's great
that Diddy's being defamed, like not even defamed, but it's great that Diddy's name's being dragged this good,
Go on.
No, that's it. I have a reel to show. Hold on.
A reel what?
It's a no, I have an Instagram video to show.
There we go.
Yeah. No, this is actually like I don't know if you saw this when I sent it to you last night, but dude, it had me dying. Like, I'm serious. This shit had me dying. Hold on.
Well, this is going to be great because I definitely didn't see it last night.
Okay. Hold on. I need to scroll past these comments just to see like if I can prevent a
That would really suck if I did end up seeing it somehow.
Hold on.
Insane in the membrane.
Okay, so I'm just skipping to some other comments so that we don't have it too badly spoiled, because I don't want to like show the contents of the video in the comments. But this is an incredible video. Have you seen this? Hold on, let me show. Have you seen this?
No, I don't.
Dude, incredible. First blind reaction. Let's go. Oh, what the hell? Why didn't it work? Where do I have to click? Oh.
Can I get it too? Okay, so
real quick, he said Hawk. And he's expecting her to say Tua, like Hawk Tua.
One time for the YouTube. Hawk?
Not today.
Hawk?
You assholes literally leave her alone.
We're asking. Nah, we just what is it?
It's disgusting. She's a stranger.
Gang, go back to Diddy crib. This ain't got nothing to do with you. Okay?
You think you did something?
I think I did something. I'm not Kanye. Don't cancel me. But y'all see what's going on? This ain't had nothing to do with Buddy. Come on, man. Get your freaky ass on, man. On King David, man.
So get your freaky ass on, boy, like King David.
King David.
He's like, on King David, get your freaky ass on, boy. Go back to Diddy crib. Bro. But I saw this yesterday. I was dying because it's just so funny. Oh my God. Like, it's like, how did he come up with this on the spot? It's just so good, bro. Like, it's like, what is it with black people? Like, they're just so good at like roasting. It's like incredible, honestly. Like, if there's something to flame you about, they will do it immediately. No hesitation.
Yeah. You know, I had this one friend, and she was talking, well, unfortunately but anyways, she was talking about how she didn't like being around the darker individual students at our learning institution because she was afraid they'd flame her for something that
what was it?
Just what?
What was
no,
what
like
was
just anything.
But what characteristics of her do you think that they would have done that for?
I'm not gonna flame a random person.
No. I'm just saying, like, does she have any characteristics that you think they would have done that for?
Well, yeah, they're black.
No. But I'm just saying, like, any characteristics of her that you could point out.
Not really. Not right now. I mean, like,
There was none?
yes, but not anything immediately apparent.
Well, I mean, like, you know, any, like, if you just saw her, like, not independent of you knowing her, right? Because this is a woman after all. What would
Correct.
you think? What would you think? Like, looks wise.
You know, the fact that it's not an immediate answer should give enough info.
So she wasn't like big or anything.
No, this is very mid.
Well, that's why they flame her. She's not big enough. She's not big enough for their liking.
That's
okay.
true.
Well, anyway, so that was the Diddy section of this. Let me see.
Diddy section.
Yeah.
You
want to go straight to Kamala, or you want to talk about broads? I mean, same difference.
I don't know. It's not. I wouldn't call that the same thing. That's a different thing entirely.
Kamala's a broad.
I don't know about that.
Isn't she like almost 60 or something? Yacht. No, she looks like a worm, bro. She kind of looks like she has like this like pinhead look. She looks like a bowling pin, honestly.
Who you calling pinhead?
She looks kind of like a bowling pin, no? Like with that head shape.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Like her head shape puts the oval in Oval Office, you know?
Like Yakub?
No. She doesn't have like like her top of her head doesn't look like that. Doesn't like start bulging. It's just, I don't know, man. Hold on. Let's look up some images. You haven't seen Kamala?
I know what she looks like. I just don't really know what you're referring to exactly.
It's just, you know, okay, so let's look at this. I just think like her head is very oval shaped, you know? It's like she kind of looks like a pin.
You know, for all these years, I completely forgot that she was a vice president.
Yo, she's Yakub! She's Yakub! bro, she actually is Yakub. She's like thinking of a new race to invent. Bro, look at this. She's like, yo.
She's got that Professor X pose.
Professor Malcolm X.
That's not exactly what I meant, but yeah, that works.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like, you know, it's like Professor X, just, you know.
Professor
black.
Malcolm X.
Exactly.
What if the Marvel comics creators, they just made it Malcolm X?
Yeah. Oh my God. No, more like Professor Sex.
Whoa.
She gets on her knees, bro.
Nah, Joey's not into that.
No, not for Joe, but you know, she has a past of doing that kind of stuff.
She does?
Yes, bro. Hold on. Let me look up Kamala, because I can't remember the exact like cases of this, but it was like to get her role, I think, as, I don't know if it was like the prosecutor or what, but hold on. Yeah, Kamala Harris dated her way to the top. Like, I need to see. Hold on. So, well, these are random.
You don't
sites,
need to be
like
dating her.
Kamala Harris and the extramarital affair, which made her career possible, has been championed. Okay, so hold on. Her rise within the Democratic Party has been extraordinary. Blah blah blah. Writing an op-ed in California. Writing in an op-ed in Cal. Wait, what?
The term extramarital. It sounds like you won something. Like it's like a great thing. It's extramarital. Like marital is good, but then extra, it's like, whoa.
And so here we go. Writing in an op-ed in California, Willie Brown, the disgraced former mayor of San Francisco and a notable Democratic Party power broker, admitted that he and Senator Harris had an illicit affair in 2002. At the time, Harris was a young prosecutor looking to make a name for herself. Brown was a powerful Democratic Party leader. Let's see.
Of course, he's Brown.
So by the time their affair had ended, Brown had opened up his Rolodex to Harris, and she had made key connections with other Democratic Party notables. She ultimately became the district attorney and continued up the political ladder, leaving Mayor Brown far behind her.
So she did that like for every like promotion or whatever.
Let me see, because that's the one that's like most called out, but let's see if we can actually find like more examples of it, because I know that's the one that's like everybody's talking about that one. Whoops, don't want my emails there. Can you get that? Can you get rid of that?
What?
You saw my emails pop up or no?
I was looking away from the screen for a sec.
I think my emails popped up in the corner. You gotta take care of that, buddy. It's like 30 minutes in. Bro, please. It's like I didn't know my emails were gonna show up as soon as I opened this fucking tab.
God damn it! Yeah, I'll do it.
I don't want people emailing me unless it's.
I mean, I'm not gonna not do it. I mean, who do you think I am?
Yeah,
Kris.
Okay. Nice try, Diddy. Yeah. So I mean, this is another Willie Brown thing. Kamala has dealt with the fact that she dated yeah. Okay.
Willie Brown.
You're like Brown Willie.
It writes itself. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Brown, Willie. Let's see. So
about the cup.
Really? You're a new gold digger. Anything I can do for you, big boy?
There's no way. That's like the best sentence I've ever read.
Oh, let's see. So yeah, I don't know. Oh my God, they're just talking about hypocrisy. If this was a man, it's like, yeah, people probably would be talking about it less for good reason. Because I mean, first of all, men aren't sleeping up to get up in the industries, you know.
Yeah, you never know. Maybe Weinstein had a few actors instead of actresses that he wanted to bring up.
But yeah, no.
Wait, didn't that happen to Brendan Fraser?
What do you think the debate between Trump and her is going to be like? Because she's apparently going to be the new candidate now that Joe Biden's stepping down.
I honestly don't know.
Camel toe Kamala, that's what they call her. Camel toe Kamala.
If he does that, that'll be the. If he does that, he might throw the. No, I don't think he would. I don't think like female Trump supporters would give two shits if he said that. But that would be the funniest shit ever.
They call her Harry Harris. Have you seen that? Harry Harris. That's what Willie Brown was calling you, Harris.
Oh, man.
Kamala Harris.
Oh,
he said she doesn't shave. She leaves it just like that. Not a lot of men like that today. They used to like it more in the 80s.
That's the best thing. He like starts with like a little critique and he just keeps going. He doesn't stop. I definitely wouldn't like that. Not me personally. I wouldn't. No, please. No, thank you.
Any woman I would ever select to be my vice president would be clean shaven, frankly.
Not that anybody needs to know that, but
JD's wife is clean. I've seen her. What a fine woman she is.
She knows how to shower. I made sure of it.
Melania is bald.
Down there.
Yes, down there. I've assured of it.
I make sure it stays that way too. We got a very strict rule now.
They call me the lawnmower, folks. That's what they call me.
I'm gonna do it.
She said, "Do not come." I said, "I have to." Ugh.
That would be amazing if you reference that.
You remember she told the immigrants not to come. That wasn't what she was saying when she was with Brown.
Let me tell you, she's very familiar with Willie.
She knows her Willie. Okay, folks. She knows all about it. She can tell
I
you
might have to start
Willie.
watching like the rally videos now just for that.
Look, I'm not the only one taking shots to the face, okay?
No Secret Servicer to help her out, let me tell you. Jesus.
Who's her husband? Let me look up this guy. Kamala Harris' husband.
Is she husbanded?
Yeah, no, she's got a white husband. Kamala Harris' husband. Have you seen her daughter? Hold on, you need to see her daughter.
An inverse JD Vance.
True, actually, because she's Native American. That's basically Indian.
I thought she was Indian.
Huh?
I thought she was Indian.
I thought she was Native American.
We need to look this up at some point. Wow,
No,
that guy looks white. You know, no, never mind. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we'll just leave that one alone. Oh, oopsie. World Economic Forum. Let's look up let's look up his Wikipedia.
Wasn't there a thing about Klaus Schwab dying or something like? Oh, come on.
Oh, yep. Okay. Well, he is from New York, folks. We can tell that much. I knew it. I knew he was from New York. How did I tell that he was from New York? I don't know.
Wait, look up Harris because I'm actually curious.
Yeah.
Is she like Indian or like street
My
Indian?
husband isn't
like...
as big as Brown, but I still love him.
I hate her laugh. I absolutely despise her laugh.
You act like you just fell out of a coconut tree.
I need to know what that is,
You
too, by the way. I
are in the context of all which has come before you and all which has happened. Okay, let's see. So, her mother, Shyamala Gopalan. Okay, so she really is Indian. She's not Native American.
Gopalan.
Yeah.
Progesterone receptor.
Shyamala Gopalan. Yeah, progesterone receptor gene stimulated advances in breast cancer research. So that's how you know estrogen actually does cause breast cancer, because progesterone will stop the estrogen from being in excess. Let's see. Kamala's father, Donald J. Harris. Whoa, that's a little too similar to Trump's name.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's like that's Donald's name with the just Harris is the last name. They tried to clone me. They made me a black man. I said, I don't like Jamaicans. Bombaclat.
Bombaclat.
What the blood clat? I said, the only blood clat I want is the one that's removed from my ear. Let's see. African Jamaican ancestry. Okay. Oh, yeah. You want to see Kamala's daughter?
I mean, apparently it's imperative that I do.
Yeah, no, actually, let me see if I can find her just looking it up.
In the boom, in Jamaica.
I hope. Oh, her name's Ella. Ella Imhoff. Okay.
Ella Fitzgerald.
Let's see if I can find a picture of her.
Who the fuck is Ella Fitzgerald?
I need to find the picture of her that was posted by somebody on Twitter. Some sort of lady that was like trying to justify. She's like, oh, she's exactly what like conservative guys or, like traditional guys would want. Why are people criticizing her? Hold on.
Oh, okay. It's a jazz singer.
Let me see if I can find the tweet. I need to find the tweet. Oh, hold on.
Dog. Make it in the boom boom in Jamaica.
Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay. Here we go. Well, this isn't the original, or I mean, it is the original tweet. It's just not the one I was referencing, and somebody saying something about like positive about her. But here's you can see her, and here's a description. So this is what she looks like. Yeah, I know. So remember, Kamala Harris has no natural children because children cannot be conceived via the esophagus. But the child she did raise, who was from her husband's first marriage, turned out like this. Okay, so look at the daughter, right? Okay, and so you can see she is dressed like a dude and with a not even, I mean, I guess you could call it an 80s hairstyle, but it just looks like those guys that have like, you know, TikTok men, you know?
Yeah.
She looks like a TikTok man. Okay, so let me see if I can find the Joey Mariano. I'm trying to find the quote tweet. Oh, Manarino. Whoops. Not Mariano. Manarino. US. And then we can go to, let's see, a tweet about her. Okay, it's probably from a few days back or something. I need to scroll through here.
Damn, I'm getting
that's
like
a banger
so
tweet though. That was a banger tweet.
So that's like actually not her child.
Yeah, not like biological, but that's her daughter with the.
I can tell.
It's like from the husband's. Yeah, I know.
I can tell.
How do I see? Where is the quote tweets? Why can't I pull up the quote tweets? For some reason, I can't click just quote tweets online, even though on.
Are
the
you
phone,
signed in on your?
I am. So I don't know why I can't just click quote tweets. Oh wait, hold on. I think I just have to click the 3 buttons. Wait. View post engagements. Okay, there we go. I found it. Yeah, okay. So let me see. Yeah, okay. I found it. So there is a woman trying to defend Kamala's well, not really daughter, but I guess daughter, like stepdaughter. Here is the tweet. I'm going to pull it up. So the thin, natural hair color, natural makeup, not covered in tattoos. Isn't this what men say they want?
You have to be a fucking moron
Who is this?
Get that.
Her name's Krochner.
Wait, what?
That's what I see as her handle. Krochner. Look at this.
She looks a bit wide.
Have you tried the carrot salad? Let's see. Krochner.
PETA.
PETA, the horse is here.
I thought that was like a reference to our Lord and Savior.
No. That's a Family Guy.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Well, I mean, I can tell actually.
You actually reposted a funny tweet though. Hold on. Let's see this because I actually found this funny.
Have you tried the carrot salad?
I hired 100 lawyers to save my friend Ava from PDF allegations. Good thing I self-censored there. That could have costed us.
Does it still, if it's like written, is that like?
I don't think it's as bad. I think it's worse if you say it. I'm pretty sure. Actually, I don't know because usually on like Instagram Reels, people can't even say it, but then they can show the word sometime. Or no, it's the other way around. Sorry. They can say it, but they can't show the word. Yeah. Did I say that the first time? But so here's the thing. Like if they say the N-word can actually be said on Instagram Reels with like basically no penalty because I still see it in the algorithm, but then they have to censor the use like in the actual word being shown. So I don't know how YouTube is with that. I mean, YouTube can detect words on the screen. So, I mean, if you want to be safe, it's at 43 minutes.
I've got that noted. That
Sure.
Damn, that lag on my time is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, I think we kind of extended. I mean, that was really a good rant about Kamala. That was actually pretty good. I guess we could comment on the Kamala. That's what they call her. Kamala Harris, Harry Sack. That's what they say.
Shit! What was it? Hold on, I'm kind of.
I just wanted to comment on the idea that she looks like what men are looking for. They say thin, or the woman said thin, natural hair color, no tattoos, all that. Does that really look like somebody you'd want to be with regardless? And actually, she does have tattoos. They're just covered up by the shirt. So she actually does have tattoos.
thin isn't really. I don't know where anybody would get thin as being like relatively thin.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to be thin like a twink. That's a gay man standard.
It's
literally a homosexual standard from the modeling industry that has been applied to women.
Yeah, maybe. Do you feel like back in the day, like supermodels actually seemed like they weren't twigs?
Emaciated?
Yeah, or is that just me?
I mean, it's gotten worse.
I thought
looking more like gay men.
I could have sworn like supermodels and even just regular models back in the day, the connotation wouldn't be that they look like Auschwitz survivors or whatever. Can I say that? That's fine, right? It's historical.
I think we're all right. I mean, we're not saying anything negative about it. I mean, that's like people that were in those places weren't fed, and thus they look starved. I mean, because they were starved. So you're just saying these people are also starved. I mean, I don't think.
I mean, they are. I mean, they like purge and shit. So
these are just facts. Are we not allowed to say facts anymore, folks?
Oh God, Jesus Christ!
I'm just saying. I'm just asking questions.
Moving on.
This is what the viewers come for, man. It's this exact thing.
Hold on.
Whoa, pause. No Kamala, no Diddy.
Retarded, Jesus Christ.
No Kamala, no Diddy. This is what the viewers come for.
My point was,
no dark disrespect.
When I was a wee lad, that a supermodel was actually something attainable for any sane and hormonally healthy individual. But now it seems like I look at like a runway video or whatever, and I'm like, what the fuck is that?
For sure. Do you remember like seeing like the Victoria's Secrets models like on like the like the walls of the mall?
Yeah.
Be like outside of the store, or like you remember like Kate Upton?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
It's like exactly like she was like just a normal looking, like as far as I mean, obviously fit and healthy and like and good proportions, but it's like she didn't look emaciated at all. She didn't look like she starved herself. No, not compared to these women. Not compared to like Zendaya.
Bro, I don't know how that thing is alive.
Zendaya. I come from the planet Zendaya.
You know,
it's like an alien.
I was
I come in peace. Just make Tom Holland gay.
When they announced her as like the Dune character or whatever, I know a lot of nerds, unfortunately, and everybody was just ragging on her the entire time. Like, I can't actually say some of the comments they were saying, but for obvious reasons. But yeah, they were not happy with the fact that she was in that role for multiple reasons. But one of the reasons was being that she is not attractive, like at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's. Would you? Okay, no, I'm not even gonna say it. It wasn't even a would you of Zendaya, which obviously no, right?
No.
Yeah, exactly. There was so many people saying like, "Oh my God, Zendaya is so beautiful." I mean, first of all, okay, she did look better before she started starving herself. I'll grant that.
Wait, is it like confirmed that she does that now?
Just look at her. I'm just speaking based on appearance.
I can't say I'm too exposed to too many.
I'm just saying she looks not as good as she did after she turned 18, but prior. Okay, like there was a stage where she didn't look like this. Yeah, I don't think it was as bad. I mean, she was always like kind of. I'm just talking like the Spider-Man movies and shit. You know what I'm talking about? Like she didn't look like this then.
You know,
she looks like she's like
that might be it.
She looks weak.
Most of those movies.
It's not even oh she should look powerful. I'm just saying she looks weak, man. It's like you do not look like you could be impregnated. And honestly, that makes so much sense as a standard, right?
27.
Like, doesn't it make so much sense as a standard? You do not look like you could be impregnated. To say that's why skinny women aren't attractive.
Yeah, do you remember? That reminds me of when Sargon, he was talking to some feminist on Twitter, and he dropped the you know what I'm talking about? That one line that he said. I wouldn't even.
Yeah. Yes.
Like that's basically what he's saying right there.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm surprised he hasn't been like mass canceled.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, it's yeah, actually, I'm surprised he hasn't like seen the like, as much pushback as some of these other figures have, right?
Yeah, and he's like he's kind of like on the edge of acceptable right wing
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's funny that you point that out. I didn't think about that as much until now.
He's getting like pretty close to like off the edge. Like he's definitely further right than like an American Republican at this point.
I mean, he's definitely like a
lot further,
like a white identitarian, like for sure.
Yeah.
And even like well, there was some other guy that was similar to him, like similar takes. They were on like with Tim Pool, and they were talking about how like one of them was saying, not Sargon, but the other guy, he was like, oh, well, you know, a home is no longer a home when the amount of visitors outnumber the number of home guests outnumber the number of people that actually live there or like are part of the family. And they were talking about like lineage and all that. And Tim Pool actually agreed with it. So it's like, you know, these are becoming more like prominent views.
I think it's because Britain is literally India 2.0 at this point. Like I'm not even like it seems like, I think the last I checked, it was like just barely, or they're just over the amounts in either London or like the entire country, one of the two. It's like less than 50% of the people there are actually British.
Wow.
So it's like, yeah, that's. And by the way, when I went to London, like with Mr. Papa John, that was 2020 actually. Dude, there were so many fucking Indian people.
That's what I'm saying about fucking Canada, Toronto.
Dude, it's bad. There's so many fucking Indian people. You know, if I wanted to go to New Delhi, God save me from ever having that inclination. If I wanted to go to New Delhi, I would have done that. Then before I don't even want to step foot in India. Yeah, so I was gonna say before I got on the plane, somebody should like shoot me or give me like a cyanide capsule or something like that. But yeah, that's basically what it is now. I don't even want to go to, like, even if I didn't have a ingrained hatred for anything and everything British. This is mostly a joke, by the way, but I wouldn't want to go there now just because of that.
Yeah.
Alone.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, like,
I'd rather take Francistan than fucking. I can't even think of what Bombay. London, it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, like, where is it really that, you know, this isn't an issue anymore? I mean, like, even like Japan, I know like the college students are getting really crazy about the diversity stuff.
Like, bro, shit, we can't talk about that. God damn it.
I mean, there's parts of America. There's parts of America where you're completely shielded from this. Just, I mean, for
no, yeah, because
I mean, very red areas. Very red areas, okay?
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean.
Very deeply red areas.
Well, the other thing is, like, even in America, you've already got the standard of it being a melting pot, or at least the idea that that's what it's supposed to be to begin with.
But not in the deep red areas.
Well, yeah. But even if you have that, it's not as big of a deal as if, like, you're in the old world and, like, you know, you have, like, maybe you go from having, like, maybe 2 or 3 Indian restaurants in the entire city to literally everywhere you walk, there's some guy in a turban or whatever.
Yeah, it depends on where you go in America because the cities are really bad, but then like the rural areas are the ones where it's like, you know, it's completely the opposite, you know?
Somebody showed me the other day. There's a fucking huge ass Hindu temple in New Jersey of all places.
Okay, well, New Jersey doesn't even really count as America at this point.
I mean, bro, I didn't know it was that bad.
New Jersey is really just kind of like, I mean, the dump of New York, you know?
Yeah, but I thought it meant like Italians. I didn't think it meant like, like you know.
I mean,
like, it's apparently the largest Hindu temple outside of India, or something like that. That's insane. In New Jersey, of all places.
That's, if you had to ask me which state I think it would be in. I mean, that's not too far off.
I mean, yeah, but I would have expected it to be like Britain first.
Yeah, that makes sense too. Or Canada.
Dubai,
I mean, even Canada. Yeah, it would make more sense. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, there's definitely like, I don't know how much we can even talk about this. There's definitely like a cheering.
Like walking on eggshells here.
I know. There's definitely. I'm just gonna say this. There is almost, not even almost. It just, you can see it blatantly if you just look at even some of the late night shows that have talked about this before. There's something called the Browning of America, right? That's what they call it, and they say at some point white people will not be the majority. And then they celebrate it. So
why would you celebrate that?
Yeah. What makes you think that's so great? Yeah, exactly. What makes you think that's so great? other than just having a hatred for whites.
If the implication is that it's great that they're finally getting, their comeuppance and all that, then it wouldn't really matter if they're the majority or not. It would matter whether or not they're represented in actual positions where there are powerful, implications or whatever, like politics, owning businesses, which wouldn't be the majority anyway. Even if it the economy we have now, it's fucking shit. So everything's all topsy-turvy. But if anything, that'll make it even more of a minority of people if you're talking about that kind of thing. So why would it be such a great thing that it's just like, but if you say it the other way, it's like, well, what the fuck's wrong with you? You're fucking racist. You're literally H-man.
Right.
Can we say that?
And I don't know. But here's the thing. Like, you would think that, why is it that, right? I guess I'm trying to think of how to put this. I'm trying to put this from a perspective of culture, even separating the race itself. It's just the idea that American people are a certain way, whatever race you are in America, like generally, okay. You're more leaning towards something, at least culturally, even if you're not completely there. You're very, in a sense, Americanized or even Westernized, depending on how you put that. People who are not from that area have their own cultural values. They most of the time will literally just have distinct values. So why is it that, it's being celebrated that, let's say, just for the sake of having diversity of values, it's good, or, having non-American values is good, like, whatever, you would consider that to be, which that can vary depending on who you're asking. But if we're just saying like in a general sense of like, kind of what would be considered these like liberal values, where it's like, oh, well, individualism, right? Something like that, like having these individualistic ideas, having these ideas of finding certain things repugnant, like, just horrid acts, like knowing what the horrid acts are, and having cultural standards for, how people should operate and behave with one another and such. Like, that's just what I'm talking about here. Those things vary in different areas of the world. So if you have people coming from a lot of different areas of the world, obviously those things are going to vary, right? And obviously if those people are teaching kids things, those kids are not going to completely be, in line with maybe what you consider to be ideal, depending on where you come from. So my thing here is just, why is it being celebrated just on the face of it that all of these different values coming together is good, when there could be values that are wrong? Even like if the sort of values that are already in place are supplanted, why is it the case that did I even use that right? Whatever. Why would it be the case that this is somehow good? Like, what are it implies you have some sort of issues with the values that already exist.
Yeah, it's funny because it's like Schrodinger's American values, where it's like American values are great because you're allowed to have other values. And it's like, okay, so when they join, they should assimilate to American values, right? Well, no, because we love the diversity, so they have to have other values. And it's like, okay, well, what other values are anti-American? Well, that's fine because America sucks at the same time. It's like, oh, okay, so we should invite a bunch of Russians. Well, no, that's bad anti-American values. But if you're like Indian anti-American values, that's great. We love that.
See, I don't even mean it in the sense of like respecting American law, or like, like the flag, or like the anthem, or like
I'm not even talking about that.
I'm not talking about these superficial patriotic, I'm talking about literally the sense of like something you would see more commonly in the West is individualism, even though that depends, because like Canada, for example, like the law is very restrictive in a lot of other places against gun rights, though, that doesn't necessarily mean the people are, though they are in those places. They're like, why do you need these? What are you going to do? Like, they believe a lot of the government propaganda. And I think that's a lot of that can be a lot of the problem, depending on where you go. Not necessarily that like the cultures were the first ones to develop these values, but it could just be like politically, it influenced that, as opposed to the other way around. But regardless, these people hold these values, and they're going to want certain things when they, migrate. So, I'm even talking about just like literally people coming from Canada or from the UK. I'm saying like oftentimes they will hold these values as well. So it's not even like, a racial thing, because
it's
exactly
literally just like a cultural thing.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is that, for them to be anti-gun, but then it's like, even in America, people generally are more pro-gun than a lot of other places. So it's like, having this is a good value, right? Having the ability to defend yourself, knowing that, it is important that people have like that ability, knowing that it's important that, you like or knowing I guess having the logical understanding that people are going to break the law anyway. You want to be able to defend yourself from people that are like, going to use their weapons for violence,
Yeah.
So just having these rational understandings, and it's more so in America that people have that, is what I'm saying is a good thing. And if you have a lot of people coming in from other places and influencing it in a different way, then you'd have a place that is actually less gun friendly than prior.
Yeah, like I'm gonna rip the Band-Aid off here, jokes aside and all that. Like I have a pretty diverse like set of friends that I've had in my life. Like I have like friends that are Indian, I have friends that are like Asian or like Hispanic and all that and stuff like that. Like, but it's not like an issue most of the time because we have aligned values. So it's always like this thing where they try to push it as like a racist thing, but it's literally like, I would like to live in a neighborhood where, if a guy sees a woman walking alone, the first instinct isn't to struggle them, I mean, I
shouldn't have to hand out a pamphlet telling them not to do that.
Exactly. Like some guy somebody sent this tweet that this guy compiled of like, it's like the longest thread ever of just headlines of people in India doing some kind of awful shit to women that you like. If you even like mention it as a joke in like the US, you get like annihilated like career wise. But it's just not paragraph, headline after headline after headline. I didn't even finish the thread because I kept going and he just wouldn't stop of like the most horrible shit that I can't even repeat here happening in India, just commonplace and stuff like that. But then like people know about this because they're all in English, so obviously it's meant for an English audience to read and shit. So people know about this, but then at the same time they're like, oh man, this culture is so great. Why would you dare say they should change their values? I don't know. Maybe the one that would be saying this is a woman, by the way. Maybe for your own safety, I don't know. Maybe you don't care about that, but it's just me.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
It is really.
So it's not even like it's an Indian people thing. It's literally just the values that they tend to have in other countries just don't mesh well when they're not, either obviously you shouldn't force it, but at least like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Influence? Persuade?
Persuaded into like shifting to a better, and I mean in the long run it would help them in the long run anyway too, because they wouldn't have this culture clash. They'd be bettering themselves like just in general, because I mean again, it's the same thing. You can say that American values are great because of the individualism and all that, but then you're also upholding a culture that doesn't have that at the same time. Like you can't have both, but they're trying to do both anyway. It's like one or the other. Pick one. Do you want to shit in the street or do you want to have working toilets? By the way, they have like I think I read it in the thread. The guy was talking about how there's literally a public health campaign to tell people to use toilets that the government had to build everywhere because it was such a problem. And they still weren't doing it because they're afraid of toilet witches or something like that. Oh my God.
Toilet witches? Are you serious?
That's what I read.
Dude, I need to see this.
Toilet witches.
Toilet witches?
Somewhere, so I probably could send you the link later.
Bro, I need to see this. That is wild.
It's so great too, because the toilet as a concept, as an invention, has only existed in that area for like, it can't be more than like 200 years. So it's not like this is some like well-established thing. They went out of their way to make some new creature that didn't exist prior for a new invention, so they didn't have to use it.
They're like, no, I like my hole in the ground. I don't want this.
I mean, I would have more respect if there was a hole in the ground, but it's not even that.
I need it on the sidewalk.
Oh man, and even okay, Jesus.
Maybe they were afraid that the cows would have to go in the toilets too, and that's why they created the toilet witch story, so that the cows could leave their feces everywhere. Jesus. Do you think they ever mistake like a human feces for cow feces and eat that instead?
At some point. They would have to.
Like I said, I saw a guy putting it in his mouth. People bathe in it. I've seen that too. So you don't think at some point they're like just grabbing it off the floor, saying like, "Oh, this must be cow. This must be cow." I'm just saying.
Really,
You know, on one hand, it's kind of like, okay, you get what you get what you deserve in this kind of scenario. But I hear so many like college-educated white women always talking about how, oh my God, India's so cool, India's so great. This isn't just India, by the way, but it just happens to be the perfect example of this in like every facet imaginable. India's so great. Look how much culture they got. And they're like, oh, I got to go to India. And I'm like, on one hand, it's like, I'd really like to help you and say, this is probably the worst decision you could have besides maybe going to like Saudi Arabia, which honestly, it might be the better option. Like thinking about it. But then on the other hand, I'm like, well, if you want to go there, like if you already have this desire to go there, I mean, it's kind of on you for being that kind of like retarded. So, you know.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we could probably wrap that up there, just so that
I could go on for hours.
I know. We'll leave that be.
We'll save it for the streams.
Yeah. And maybe has to be Rumble exclusive at some point. Who knows?
I could bring on an Indian friend that I have, so that we,
we have, like, is this guy like is he gonna justify the Indian position, or does he agree?
That's actually a great question. I mean, he's like super westernized, so I'd assume not.
We'll have him on just so that we can tell whether or not westernized Indians feel like this is still justified.
Bro, this guy's like more. I don't want. I can't say, but like if I told you this one detail about him, I'm not gonna do it because it's like personal info. You'd be like, oh shit, this guy's like beyond westernized. Like to a point where it's almost detrimental at this point. But I'll leave that on the back burner.
I got you. So here's the thing. I was talking to Greg yesterday because I was having this conversation with a woman. See, the thing is,
femoid.
Yeah, femoid. I was on Bumble. As we know, we've been doing that on the show, right? We've been swiping left and right and shit. I decided, how about I just go on there and do a little myself just to see if anything pops up. Obviously that's like something that you guys might want to hear about, right? So, I'm just going on there. And honestly, if I get something out of it, hey, let's go. But yeah, so I matched with this one chick yesterday. And first thing she says is like, hi, like with two eyes.
They always do. Have you noticed it's the same exact response, like cookie cutter shit? Like I get, there's only so many options you can do, but the fact that it's like every single time, it's literally the same exact response, no matter where you are, who it is. It's just amazing.
See, they have that stock welcome because it's like, first of all, there are a lot of guys that are matching with them because a lot of guys swipe on them. So when they swipe right on a guy, they're obviously going to match. And so, that they're just doing that as like first of all, they don't want to be the one to lead when it comes to the opening. So obviously they're just trying to give you an entry. It doesn't give you much to work with, but they want somebody who can work with not much, right? Of course, because they want somebody who's good conversationally. So obviously it's like, you don't want to just give them everything because then you're just going to get a lot of guys that really don't know what they're doing, but regardless, they're in because of that. So you want to be able to like filter certain ones out. So that makes sense from a woman's perspective.
No, yeah. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it says a lot.
Yeah. So this is a woman. She's she looks you've seen the photos. What would you say about this woman's looks?
I believe I declared it a light wood.
Okay, light wood. She has a good body. She has filters. She kind of looks low key like Asian, right?
A little bit, yeah.
But low key. Not like but anyway, point being,
it's like you're like, is she type thing.
She's saying like she likes like these video games, like like Overwatch and like League.
Oh no.
Right. So, but then she's also like, one of her interests is making videos. So I was asking like, are you a Twitch streamer? Because it's like, that seems like where it's going. And she's like, yeah, I do stream. But then she was like, she was saying that she was going to stream, or she was going to stream that night after work, which is yesterday. But then she's like, okay, well, I don't want to stay home anymore. So I was like kind of asking her what she was going to do instead. And then she said she's not sure. And she's like, do you have any chance or like any plans by chance? Right. And so I was like, I mean, I kind of just took that as like, oh, well, is she trying to do something? So let me see, so I was kind of, yeah. So I was like seeing like, what does she usually like to do? Cause I'm not familiar with her area. And I'm just kind of like, I don't really even know what kind of thing she usually does. So I'm just kind of like trying to feel it out a bit. She tells me she's like a home. Well, first of all, I asked her that. It took her a while to get back on that one. So I was like, oh, is she actually trying to go out tonight or what? Like, I'm confused now. I'm confused. And no, but she said she's more of a homebody. And then she talks about the stuff that she enjoys doing. So I was kind of like, well, one of the interests she mentioned was cooking. So I was kind of like, okay, well, you know, I could redirect this maybe now that she finally replied by asking what her favorite
salad.
I was trying to ask her what her favorite food was to be like, okay, well, I know a place for this. Just look it up in her area and be like, oh yeah, let's go there.
Shit, you weren't trying to petify. That's a really unfortunate verb. Not, let me Pete.
At least you didn't say repeat her.
Ah, Jesus. What would be? How do you verb that? Make that into a verb. Verbify.
Pete pill.
Yeah, I guess it's as good as you're gonna get.
Well, anyway, yeah, I'm trying to slip her the pill. Let's see.
What? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, but what she said. Okay, I guess I'll just mention the other detail after. But what she said today.
You should have started with that. Yeah, this is girl I met on Bumble. I was trying to.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so she replied today though because she didn't reply last night. I was like, oh, well, I guess she really wasn't trying to do anything, or maybe I don't even know what it was, bro. Honestly, I don't know if she was like feeling it one moment and not. Honestly, I thought she was fiending for the D because of how quick she was asking if I had any plans. I thought she was ready. That's what I'm saying. I thought it was gonna happen. I'm like, damn, bro, like slow down. But I'll speed it back up. But
Nah, resume.
It's like pause. Wait a minute. Playback. Fast forward. Anyway, what she was saying today, she's like, I love pasta, but in terms of my culture, I also love pancit.
Pancit?
That's a Filipino thing.
Ah.
That's why she looks low-key Asian.
See, they're the ones where you're like, are they just really native Mexican?
Yeah. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking when I saw her.
That explains it.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie. It seems like they do get kind of good, the Filipinas.
I mean, she looks nice, I would say, but it's like It seems like she's just wanting to do casual conversation. It seems like she was just asking to see what my plans were, just to see what I'm up to. More than actually, it seemed like she was trying to do something though, but she's still going on with the conversation. So I don't know. But at first I thought it was over because I was like, oh, well, I guess like since she's not replying, she probably went out with another guy. She was just fiending for any D she could get, like, or something. I was like, bro, damn, you're quick with it. But no, I was thinking, it's not really that bad because I'm talking to another girl right now. But like,
wait, what?
Yeah, well, I hit her up on Instagram. See, this is the thing. Actually, I need to give a bit of backstory. I need to give a bit of backstory here, but I'm gonna have to give you some pros and cons of this first of all, and honestly,
dark here.
And honestly, yeah, I know, but honestly, this one may be the better move if anything, just based on what I've seen so far. Yeah, I have that mating strategy in me. Okay, but anyway, so this girl
mating strategy.
It's not really well. It's like more. I guess there could be a guy's version strategy. Of that. I guess there could be a guy's abundance mindset.
There we go.
So this girl
on my bingo board.
I've been like messaging this girl for probably like a week. But see, the thing is, this isn't a girl that I like just started talking to. So the thing is, like, she was somebody that I initially hit up seeing her on Bumble like months ago. I remember mentioning it on the show. It was this one chick that was like, first of all, I think it was like the one I was saying, like the whole Outback story. You remember that? Where I was like, you want to go? And then I messaged her like, you're not feeling that. And then she's like, oh, we just haven't talked much. So I kind of want to chat first. And then, the thing is, it ended there because I was talking about, I was trying to give some of that, like, you gotta kind of, no, not carrot salad. You got to give a little bit of that, like, sort of, what is it? They call it selling the dream on Fresh and Fit. But, frankly, I'm not even capping. I'm just kind of like, oh, well, I'm not like looking for anything short term or anything, like kind of something like that. And then she's like, oh, I don't really know what I want right now. Just like kind of chatting right now, So I was like, I left her on red and I just didn't text her back for months.
Oh,
because I was like, I don't know what you want me to do. I don't really just want to talk. Right. It's like, I don't want to, like, you don't know what you want? Okay, well, I don't really want to talk. But I saw her on Bumble again, and then she actually did like show she was like looking for like a relationship and all that. And I was like, okay, let me hit her up. Okay, let's see what's going on. Because honestly, it's just the fact mainly that the women that are like, I don't know what I want yet. It's annoying. You know, it's not like the ones that want a relationship. It's not even that you have to be in a relationship with them or you're trying to do it as soon as you get in touch with them. It's just more so like, I don't know. They're just better to talk to, honestly. Or even just to be with. Like, it's like, you know, the ones that are like, I don't know. It's like, man, I don't know. It's giving me that ick. You know what I'm saying?
The I don't know makes me really angry because it's just kind of wasting my time.
Exactly. So that's why I stopped talking to her. And then she said she doesn't know what she wants.
It's just really irritating. It's like, I could be doing literally anything else right now. Could you just like figure it out?
Yeah.
So we can like move things along, or I can drop it.
That's what I'm saying. So a few months later, that's what I see. I see that she's like, okay, she does know what she wants. So I hit her back on Instagram and I say, seeing Trump almost get shot reminded me of that shot I missed. Like, you know, like the future thing where it's like you say something like that to get him back in. It's like life goes faster than you realize. So it's best to take the chance while you still have it.
That almost sounds like a Drake thing.
I was trying to make it sound like that future thing where it's like, you know, kind of like, it's not really an apology, but it's more like, you know, it makes you seem a little more sentimental. So they actually start talking to you again. So it worked, right? So we're talking here. At first it was kind of rough because like, she's very, basic, you know, it's like, she doesn't have much to say. And so it was kind of like, I was saying a lot. She wasn't saying much. I thought maybe, okay, maybe she's not interested, but she keeps hitting me back so quick. So I'm not sure what it is. But then she texts me and she's like, oh, you know, by the way, it's like, you know, I really, you know, sorry if I'm not saying much and you're saying a lot. It's just, you know, I don't really have much to say as a person. Like I'm bad at conversation. But she's like apologizing to me over it, you know? And so I'm like, oh, okay. All right. You know, I was asking if she was better in person. Huh?
Very Japanese.
Well, she's not Japanese, this one.
No, but you know, like the apologize for everything kind of thing.
Well, anyway, so I was like, okay, well, you know, that's fine and all. What was it? I was going to say something after this. Oh yeah. So I was like, okay, well, I was trying to get her on like a call, you know, or in person or something. She's like, oh, I don't really call people that much. I'm like, what? You know, she sent me voice messages, but I was like, okay, well, why do you want to get a call?
Wait, yeah, hold on. What?
I don't know. She's like, apparently it's because she's like introverted is what it seemed like.
You know what that is? You know what introverted really means?
What does it mean?
Introverted is just a polite way of saying you have autism.
Well, anyway, whatever it may be. It seems like she doesn't like, she would be very apprehensive to even meet based on this, you know, because she already was kind of the first time around. That's a problem a bit for me because it's like, if talking to you is just, I'm basically just talking to myself, right? You know, it's not really a knock at her because, you know, honestly, how do I put this? It's not so bad on a woman's side. And how I would phrase it is that she's not someone who seems to engage in the most intensive or extensive employment of her cognitive faculties.
That was probably the best way I've heard it. Somebody call somebody stupid.
I'm not saying, I mean, that's just kind of women for you, but.
Well, that does depend on the woman.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. Woman.
I'm not saying, you know, it's not to dig at her. It's just more to say, like, it doesn't seem like a lot of the actions she makes are like so much thought about compared to, like so thoroughly thought about compared to someone like myself or you, or even somebody that may be in some sort of mid-range, you know, there's not as much thought going into every single action. It's not very meticulous. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
She's not as intentional. So the thing here is like, she doesn't put as much thought into her actions. Anyway, I guess you get what I'm saying. The problem is I thought, because like I had seen pictures of her, she has like a couple tiny tattoos. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not so bad. But then she posted another photo. The tattoos are bigger than I thought. Like not even those two. There's like another one. See, I was thinking, okay, well, you know, this cognitive faculty, like sort of, I'm not going to call it an issue. I'm just going to say it's lessened. It makes sense why she would do that. But at the same time, I'm not liking it still. Regardless, I'm still not liking it. And she still posts stuff to her story despite saying she knows what she's looking for. It makes me very suspicious about like her her thoughts on what has previously happened to her and other experiences with guys. So it's like, it's very much like, I'm not enjoying this, man. Like, as far as seeing these things, these are not good signs, which is why I was saying that this other chick actually seems better, because she doesn't have any tattoos. She's texting me perfectly. It's like, well, I mean, maybe a little bit delayed, but her texts are a lot more engaging.
Hold on. I got
I can show
so
you a picture,
lost
by the way.
now. Who's who now?
Okay. So the Bumble girl, the one that's like the Filipino.
Wait. What do you say about a picture?
Okay, hold on. Let me first explain this. So the girl I started talking to like a week ago that I'd already been talking to previously is not Filipino. I have not actually talked to her. Like, I've talked to her on Instagram. Okay, so we'll call her Instagram girl.
That's a lot. Yeah, that's helpful.
Okay, so this girl's the one with the tattoos. This girl's the one that I said about the cognitive faculties and the
I don't know what I want, girl.
I don't know what I want. Says she knows what she wants now, but even so, it's like it's she's not really talking about what she wants as much as she's just kind of talking. You know, I mean, at best, I think it was like I got her to talk a little bit more when it was asking about her religious like values.
Yeah, that's usually the one.
But I mean, even so, she's not actually like sure of it, you know, as far as like practicing. But also she's like a Protestant anyway. Okay.
Sorry, I just had to
see the Filipino one from Bumble, the Bumble girl I don't see any tattoos. She doesn't seem like she's hung up on much based on the bio and all that. She is a Twitch streamer. But she's also Catholic.
Oh. That's actually a plus.
So it's like, you know, what I was saying is that I can send you a picture of what I saw this other girl having as far as a tattoo, which you're going to say it's a no-go. I see why you would say that, because at first I wasn't expecting this to be the case, but she also has like a couple piercings on her lips, which also isn't great.
Oh no.
I know.
Oh no.
I know. It's like, it's not great at all.
You should have led with that. Jesus.
I know. So I'm kind of just stuck here because I already said I wanted to talk to you again, and but then it just keeps getting worse. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
It just keeps getting worse. The only benefit is that she really doesn't have many followers on Instagram whatsoever. She has less than 30 followers, and her Instagram posts don't even get that many likes. But honestly, if you see these photos, you'll probably be like, nah, man, it's a no-go. And I mean, like, I get that. Honestly. Well, because honestly, seeing this, I don't think you'd say yeah.
You're leaving me in the dark here. I can't really give a verdict.
I'm sending. Yeah, I think you're gonna say no. I think you're gonna say hell no.
Alright, let's see what we got here.
What's the SpongeBob quote where it's like flippity flabbit something like that?
What?
Dear Neptune, something like that, where they like SpongeBob makes a very it's on Discord.
Okay, let's see what we got here.
That's what I'm saying, man.
That's what
I'm saying, man. Well, it doesn't seem worth it.
So fucking dark. Holy shit.
It doesn't seem worth it. It does not seem worth it.
Yeah, no.
This other one's better. You saw the other one.
Yeah, the other one's definitely a lot more.
That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna try to see what I can do with the other one.
Yeah, this is. God, that's not even in style anymore, bro. That's like 2000 shit.
I know. Well, see, the tattoo really solidified it for me. That leg one, out of everything, more than the piercings. That tattoo, because those can be removed.
Yeah, but
it was the leg tattoo.
I definitely hate piercings more than I hate tattoos.
I mean, it depends on the piercing.
By a lot. Well, yeah, like if it's earrings, that's a different thing, but.
Well, these are, what do they call these? Like snake bites or something?
I don't fucking know. I'm not emo.
Well, anyway, my point is that I still don't think that's worse than the leg tattoo.
I think it is.
Really?
Yeah, I could do like a short-term like leg tattoo fiasco more than I can do the other one. Easily.
No, I'm the opposite. I can't with that, man.
No, bro. Dude, the piercings, that's it. It's over. It's over. You can't recover from that.
Yeah, honestly, I don't even see what I like the point of it at this point.
Because the tattoos, at least with the tattoos, you can use the argument that it's become socially acceptable anyway. So there's less of a leap in well, I mean, quite frankly, retardation to get a tattoo than a piercing.
Frankly, and honestly, you know, the thing is, here's the last thing. I think this was the nail in the coffin, honestly, above all else. And you're going to say like, okay, well, is that really as bad as the rest of it? But you hang with, like, stay with me here. She was saying, first of all, she says she doesn't like calling, right? Then she said last night she was on FaceTime.
Hold on. Which one is this again?
The one with the tattoos and the piercings.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the one.
That was an accident,
bro, there's barely information about the Filipino one. Like, this is like new. This is new. This is completely new. But the other one, last night, sends me like a screenshot of her phone. She's on FaceTime. She says, I'm on FaceTime with a buddy. First of all, she's on FaceTime, not even a call. And she says she doesn't like calling. And the name is a guy's name. She says it's her friend. But bro, I'm just like, that above all else, I think is like, probably, I know you're going to say like, why do you see that as maybe you're going to see, like, I think you could see what I'm getting at, but that above all else, I'm like, okay, it's really solidified for me now. And honestly, between that and some of the stuff she's been posting on her story, as far as like, you know, like about past relationships, like stuff she's dealt with, like, I mean, like, it's stories from other people, like other people's reels, like saying like, you know, like about like self-acceptance and like, you know, like how, you know, you shouldn't like be with people who disregard your feelings. Those things are actually worse to me as far as red flags go. Honestly,
bro, this is like, I don't know why.
This were a woman, let me say, if this were a woman who had none of those things, let's say she had the tattoos and the piercings, sure, those can be red flags for these sorts of things. But I'm saying alone, if she just had those things and none of the other signs, it would actually be preferable to if she had those signs and didn't have the tattoos and piercings, honestly, because the trauma is actually worse. The trauma is what you're trying to avoid.
Yeah, but I can't stand like.
I know it's aesthetically unpleasing, but the point is
aesthetically abhorrent.
I know
it's not just displeasing.
Right. But my point here is that the trauma actually, like, it just spells so much out for what could go wrong compared to the other things. Where it's like, if she actually had, like, let's say supposedly there was a hypothetical woman that had zero trauma and just had this appearance, it's like, which very unlikely, extremely unlikely. I think maybe almost impossible.
Yeah.
I know. But let's say hypothetically that could have been the case, right? Somehow, in some way, right? Let's say like, you know, okay, I guess let's put it this way. Like, let's say the trauma didn't come from another, like from a man or from any sort of like, you know, any sort of like sexual, anything in the past, right? Anything like that. Let's say the trauma wasn't from any of that. Let's say she just didn't have a good relationship with her father and somehow didn't just sleep around, right? Let's suppose that, because that's somewhat more likely as far as the possibilities go.
There's so many suppositions here.
Isn't that somewhat more likely as far as the possibilities go?
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that?
Okay. Having the tattoos and piercings as a result of a bad relationship with the father, but not necessarily sleeping around, as opposed to having slept around and that causing the trauma which led to the tattoos and piercings. Which one's more likely? Or not which one's more likely. Actually, yes, which one's more likely? That's kind of what I'm asking. I'm saying, like, do you think it's the case that the tattoos and piercings... Okay, I kind of confused myself on this, honestly.
Yeah, I'm not really...
Okay, here's what I was trying to ask. I'm saying the tattoos and piercings, because I was saying it was almost impossible for that to not have any sort of trauma relation to it, right? That's what we were saying. I was saying, basically, because we'll consider that an impossibility for the sake of this argument. But out of the other possible options, there is that, I mean, of course, that this is tied to men in the past, right? Or something sexual happening with men in the past. I'm saying, is it possible as well? Because, you know, obviously that's like the likely outcome. Is it possible as well? Not is it more likely, but is it possible as well that these sort of like, you know, these appearances of the body and like changes to it, I mean, you know, frankly, mutilations, could they be a result? Is it possible, at least more possible than the impossibility seemingly of the trauma happening from it? Is it at least more possible that it could have only resulted from a trauma with the father, but the woman happened to not be with like men afterward in that same sense? Is this possible?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that it's actually a better scenario to have these things be a result of that than the other way around? Which it doesn't seem like it's that it's the way I'm talking about.
It would be better, but the thing is, the father figure is the role model for what you would be looking for in a man anyway.
So just be black.
They're linked anyway. Wait, what?
I said so. Just be black.
I mean, jokes aside, that would just be worse.
The Invisible Man.
That's
okay. Well, anyway, we get my point. Yes, I really don't think it's a good idea to continue talking with this woman either. Honestly, the longer I've spoken with her and the more I've seen her post on Instagram, the more I'm like, this is just a no-go.
If I can give my caveat to your point on the tattoos and then the piercing. So you're thinking about like longevity and practicality in a relationship, which, yeah, you're right. The tattoos and the piercings are less important than the actual trauma that's manifesting in the posts and whatnot. But you actually need to be attracted physically to your partner too.
Yeah.
And I could not look at someone like that every day or even for an extended period of time that I'm romantically involved with without like physically like shuddering in disgust every other time that I look at it. It's just so bad, bro.
Like for me personally, again, like I think the tattoos are worse than the piercings when it comes to that too.
I have to disagree.
If she only had the piercings, I'd actually be far more okay.
I couldn't do that.
Because I've seen really bad piercings and I know a lot of them just mostly are. But my point is like these aren't the ugliest piercings I've seen. And honestly, they're not the ones that bother me the most. But there are so many others that I would say they're worse than the tattoos. Like there are some where they just have them all over their lips, all over their face, like in different spots. Like those are hideous. I think they are worse than the tattoos. But here it's like, I just think that the tattoo actually is more bothersome, especially the leg one. But in general, the tattoos are more bothersome to me.
See, the implications are worse in your standard. Yeah. But
I'm just saying also the from a visual aspect, I'm saying from an aesthetic perspective, I'm saying they're worse.
Implication wise, I'd agree with you. Aesthetically, I can't agree with you. Like, for example, the septum piercing. I don't know if I'm saying that, if that's the right one.
The nose one that goes like a bull piercing.
Yeah, that one. That's like a dead give. That's like the reddest flag you could possibly imagine.
It's what lesbians would use to attract each other prior to straight women adopting it.
Is that true?
Yes, that's what they would use. I mean, I'm not saying like it was like some sort of official symbol, but it's what they would signal that to each other using that. That was something that happened.
I was unaware of that. I'm glad I know that now. Now I can use that as trivia later on when
I have read about lesbians talking about this. That is my evidence for it. That lesbians have said, yes, we use this to signal each other.
Damn, you got into the fucking archives.
I mean, I've been seeing them talk about that like that on Reddit and shit, forums. I mean, mainly Reddit. I don't really have any other forum experience other than like Repeat forum, unless, somebody posted about that on there. But, on the Repeat forum, there's actually, because I was doing some research to try and prove to one guy about like hormone imbalances and what they mean as far as what your preferences are when it comes to a mate, to put it lightly. And there was somebody talking about his severe addiction to pornography, and there were a lot of people giving the recommendations because it wasn't just weird stuff with women. It was also, I think he even mentioned animals. But it also was very not just straight. And so there were people telling him, a lot of them were saying, you need to take these hormones, like as far as like, balancing yourself, like you need to take these things, these vitamins, these supplements, like basically supplement these things in your body because clearly you're imbalanced. As opposed to the other crowd, which would say, take these hormones to balance them in further in your body, to balance them, imbalance them further. Sorry. But here's the thing, like, there were some people were like, and I know one guy specifically was like, oh, it could be both the hormonal aspect and your addiction itself, as far as like seeking out increasingly depraved things, which, I mean, I agree with that perspective. It's a combination oftentimes, because somebody who is hormonally well doesn't have the tendency to do those things compared to people who are unwell. And so that was just something I wanted to point out there. And honestly, it probably tells us why there's so many problems today. But just
from even get to that point. Like, I know there's a pipeline to like how you gradually increase the extremity of the things that you're looking at for arousal, but how the fuck do you get that far?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on, man.
So here's the one issue I find with that: the level of variability within that frame of extremity makes me think that at some point it would have to come down to your psychological sturdiness, for lack of a better term, as an individual, because there are certain things that a psychologically stable person just won't ever come to the conclusion of, even with that amount of stimulus being put in your vision over and over again.
Well, yeah, it's part of the idea that the hormones are causing the problems as well. I mean, I would say like the hormones are influencing the psychology, because your values do as well, but
it would have to at some point, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it does. And so it would have to necessarily be that at some point, as opposed to just the values, depending on how bad it gets. But yeah, I don't know. Your values also honestly probably influence, because I mean, obviously stress hormones would be something that are a result of that. And that includes things like serotonin, that includes things like, honestly, estrogen. So, you're, if anything, imbalancing your hormones by having the improper perspective on the world, which would reinforce the problems. So in a lot of ways, it can come in different orders. Like you could have the improper values, which causes the hormone production in the wrong manner, which reinforces that, and it makes you feel like you're trapped. Or you can have the imbalance of hormones, which is causing the outlook on the world that's negative and would cause those values. So either one can cause either one, and they both reinforce each other.
Yeah. But anyway, to tie a nice bow around this topic, I don't know if you have anything else after this, but I'm going to get to the real meat of my argument here is, while yes, the implications of the things that you say are worse are true, not the tattoos, are true, the visual disgust, the visual abhorration, the visual almost gore sense, or my mind perceives those piercings as, like the extreme aversion to it, is so distasteful that they don't even get into the level where it's considered as a relationship. I'm not even thinking about practicality anymore, because my mind is just thinking, I need to get away from this thing right now, because this thing is very clearly unwell in several ways that they're unaware of. So that's why it's so much worse.
How would you justify having the more rational perspective beyond some sort of personal disgust when it comes to that? Because you're basically saying I'm correct about the implications. Wouldn't the implications necessarily be what influences your aesthetic preferences?
Well, I just told you what the implications are.
Well, you were saying I'm right on the implications being worse as far as success of the relationship, and
right. But my point is,
even as far as connection to trauma.
Right. But my point is, you're overlooking the point where the person to you is physically revolting.
No, but my question is isn't the revoltingness a result of those things?
In this point, no. At this point, it's actually just self-mutilation, which would override any kind of. You're not even thinking about a sexual relationship anymore.
Aren't tattoos as well?
They are, but they're less offensive to me. It's not the same as sticking your face with metal. I mean,
but why is it that it's less offensive?
I think
what's the justification?
Because, well, here's the thing. I've already said before that tattoos, it's almost like looking at gore, at least in regards to at least with women, in terms of that you're interested in. But I think the fact that I can overlook some tattoos makes it seem as if it's not as big of an issue as with piercings. I basically have a zero tolerance policy. Basically, it's maybe one that it's fine. Is
it that you're taking your values as the justification, because if you feel that way having these values, then there must be something correct about it?
Can you rephrase that?
As in, the fact that you have these notions regarding these things is the justification for why these things are good or bad, because you already have the values in the first place, which establish right and wrong. So if anything, your sort of quote unquote intuition from having the values themselves, your emotional response from having the values, is justification to you because you already have the correct values.
No, because then that would kind of be circular.
I know, but I'm asking if that's the reasoning because it sounds like it.
No. My reasoning would be, so you're, like I said before, the whole tattoo thing and all that, that's based on a practicality on how far is this going to go? Is this going to be a sustainable relationship? So on and so forth. What I'm saying is the piercings disqualify you from even getting to that part at all.
Yeah. So I'm sort of like wondering why it is that the correct value would be for something that implies that sort of emotional disgust upon viewing it rather than just having a worse emotional response. You know what I'm saying? Because people could have different, depending on it's very value influenced, but I'm saying the reason is like, people depending on their values will find things revolting or not, or more so. So I'm wondering if you have a value that you can understand as being correct, which influences that, as opposed to just saying, well, like I said, like my values are correct and therefore me finding this disgusting is actually accurate. Or are you coming from it from like a perspective of this is an inherent disgust to me as a human, and thus like it is something that is worse just because of that?
I thought I answered it by basically saying it's a form of self-mutilation that outweighs the self-mutilation that would be a tattoo.
In what way?
Well, there's a piece of metal sticking out of your flesh, for one.
Okay, I see. So the idea that, well, I mean, because the holes can close up and you can take them out.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. You're thinking about it in a way outside of the immediate reaction. Like, yeah, logically, the piercings can, like, you can take them out, they can close up and all that. But the initial immediate reaction isn't going to take that into account. That's after you start intellectualizing it.
But you don't think any sort of permanence plays a role in disgust?
It does, but it would depend on how severe the immediate reaction would be.
But the immediate reaction is informed by your values.
Yeah.
So
it's automatic.
Right. So again, it would be because not everybody is like, depending on values, people are going to see that different. I'm saying it seems like the argument is because your values are correct and that's the immediate reaction it causes based on those values, that therefore it is incorrect to have a piercing compared to a tattoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just what I'm asking. Because rather than like you could thread a logical justification through there, I would assume, if it is, I mean, because it would have to necessarily be the case if it actually were logically worse, because the emotional reactions would just have to be a result of something that logically makes sense, right? So it's just more the idea that like, again, I'm not even to rephrase myself over and over, but it's just more the thing of like, I'm just not hearing the logical thread here. I'm just hearing more so like that the implication that the logical thread is already there. You're just not very much describing it. I mean, aside from the fact that you are being impaled, I'm just saying like I'm one, but then when it comes to like the permanence, then your idea is more so just reverting to the idea that it does cause that emotional disgust.
Well, the permanence isn't even really that relevant because both can be removed.
It's easier to take out a piercing and let the body heal. You have to laser out the tattoo. And also, I mean, when it comes to sickness, or at least a negative, like when it comes to a deficit in health, tattoos are actually worse than piercings because, well, depending on the contents of the piercing, I would say, because I mean, I guess if you have like a significant amount of heavy metal in the piercing, then I can understand it. But from the perspective of like what a tattoo is doing to the skin, it's a toxin.
Right, but you're getting to like a point where it's like, what is more immediately observably detrimental to the body, stabbing yourself with a knife or drinking acid? Like, one is not going to be immediately perceived as a worse thing as opposed to the one that's more visually distasteful to a sound mind anyway. So like what I'm saying is you're intellectualizing it. I mean, validly, sure. Like these are things that need to be considered, but outside of that, the immediate reaction isn't really going to take that into account.
I mean, I guess we could move on from it. It was like, all I was really saying is that the immediate reaction is coming from somewhere. And thus, I mean, you would have to evaluate it to know if that's even correct.
I thought I made it pretty clear though.
I mean, to an extent, it's just like, it comes back to the idea that this is like, it almost sounds primal from the way you're saying it, just because it's, unless you're saying it is. And then, I mean, we can kind of keep it that way, I guess, but it's just more of the idea of like, you're like, well, the immediate disgust is there. Okay, but why is that like the thing? I mean, I guess I don't know. I mean, I guess I get where you're coming from the impalement. It's just, I don't know. I mean, I guess I really am just putting too much thought into the implications of a tattoo. And I guess I get what you're saying when it's like those implications aren't as apparent, just seeing them, like from somebody that's not thinking about that.
I mean, because even you would admit that there's some tattoos where, like, obviously it's not ideal, but they're not like deal enders or whatever. Deal breaker,
for the most part. I don't know. It's just like, yeah, I could think of like, well, because I guess we got to think about them in terms of equal, I guess, abhorrence, like, I guess, like, or equal, like, because you can have tattoos, obviously, that are less offensive than others, and you can have piercings that are less offensive than others. So I guess it's from the perspective of like, okay, well, each one has degrees. If you're looking at the degrees of them, when they're sort of equal, like which one's more of a deal breaker, and when the degrees are equal, which one's more of a deal breaker, I'm still leaning toward the tattoo.
Okay, so you're saying, assuming you have the best possible tattoo and the best possible piercing, you're going with the piercing.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'd be the opposite.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wait, hold on. We're excluding like earrings and shit like that, I assume.
I mean, I guess, like, could there be a tattoo that's equivalent to the lack of offensiveness?
I don't think there can be.
Okay.
I really don't.
So I guess we'll keep that out. What is the least offensive piercing other than an ear piercing?
I was thinking maybe like a belly button thing. That's kind of it. Okay,
so is a belly button piercing more of a problem than some of the least offensive tattoos?
That's actually a good question. I've never thought of that.
Right, because your mind is going to the really bad piercings, I believe. Like, it seems like you're going toward those especially the facial piercings. I mean, because there's obviously like belly button. Well, you can have piercings in other locations.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's unfortunate too. Do you really want, like, okay, to clarify before I say anything. Let's say you want to pop a tit in your mouth and there's a piece of metal stuck there. I mean, how good is that going to feel?
It just seems dangerous.
True. Okay. Yeah. Well, anyway, I guess there's really not a lot of good piercings. And I mean, like, the really small tattoos can be not that bad. It's just, I really have a problem with the black on the white. Like how I made it about like a white woman, right?
So if it was like a black on black, it'd be like,
no, that's still
what?
It's still bad. But if anything, it actually looks less bad, I would say.
Bro, it's always funny when I see like really dark people get tattoos, and it just kind of looks like it just looks like you have like a skin condition.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying. That's why I'm saying it doesn't look as bad. I mean, obviously, like, think about the scores of a. Okay, I shouldn't even say this. We already know where we stand on that as an option to begin with, the other side of the moon. And like, the thing is, like, obviously a tattoo is going to make it worse. But the idea here being that if you're a white woman with a tattoo, it's so much more apparent that it actually detracts more from you than if you're a black woman with a tattoo. Not saying that your scores are going to, I'm not talking about total score. I'm just saying from your score yourself, I would say as a white woman, a tattoo would detract more because it's more visibly apparent.
I guess in terms of attraction, yeah. In terms of intelligence, I'd say it's way worse on the black person because you can't even fucking see it. So what's the point?
That's good. Okay, well, see, the thing I'm saying here is that when I see that tattoo laid on a certain hue of skin,
this is getting really.
It just evokes a certain emotion for me that makes me think, like, imagine you had a pair of white sneakers, and then there was like somebody like hit it with a marker, and there's like a streak going down it now. Or even a mark on it in general. That's going to be so much more apparent than if it was like, let's say even like a silver mark, even that's even more apparent, but let's say like any sort of, or maybe like a black mark on a dark brown shoe or something, it's like, it takes away, I can't even say it, dude. I just forget it, honestly, forget it. This is probably one of the first times where I'm like, I just don't even want to go more in depth on this.
Have you seen my white sneakers, bro?
But you get what I'm saying, right, chat? We're not even live.
Is this the last episode?
Is this the last episode of the podcast ever? Is this the podcast ever?
This has been like, there's been so many
This has been the most chaotic episode of the show, probably.
I wasn't even saying chaotic. I'm just there's been many times.
I mean, I don't mean chaotic in the sense of like why it's wild. There's so many out of pocket moments.
Like there's been so many times in this episode alone where we've been tiptoeing on the edge of
we're edging. Pause. No Diddy. No Diddy. We're edging. No Diddy. No Kamala.
Here's the thing. I think here I'm intellectualizing it a bit now. I think there's a greater leap of at least perceived permanence. But we'll say that because obviously neither of them are really permanent. At least perceived permanence in getting a piercing as opposed to getting a tattoo. Because realistically, like if we boil it down to like its simplest form, a piercing is, well, a piercing, you're just stabbing yourself basically. And a tattoo, more or less, I know it's more complicated than that, and there are other implications as well. It's basically just like a drawing on your skin that you can't get off. It would be like the equivalent of like philosophically at least, like using a marker and like drawing on yourself. I'd say, while that's still stupid, it's not quite as stupid or almost animalistic to. Okay, yeah, no, I'm good. Never mind.
I remember I was in like, I don't know if it was like middle school or high school. Like, we did a bunch of wild shit back then, just stupid shit to our friends. And like, there was this black kid and I remember using like some sort of pen to just draw like this random mark on him. And he was like desperately trying to get it off. I guess he doesn't like black things, but it's like, things darker than him are just bad to him. But no. Like on a real note, his parents are actually very, like at the time he was telling me that his parents are actually very anti-tattoo and that even like a mark on his skin would be a problem.
I mean, it is by definition a problem.
I mean, just like, somebody drawing with a pen real quick for like one streak that you can take off.
Oh, that you can. Okay, yeah, that's a bit ridiculous.
So he was like, oh no, my parents aren't going to like this. And then he just starts rubbing it off. I also, pause. Hold up. No Diddy. Bro, go back to Diddy crib. You get your freak ass on, boy. No. On a real note, here's what I did to this kid as well. I remember this was high school too. No Diddy. No, Doc disrespect. No Kris. Okay.
Wait, was Dr. Disrespect gay though? Wasn't it a woman? Or fuck, I guess not a woman, but you know what I mean.
Like what actually was it? Because I saw somebody saying that it was actually just, I mean, not just, okay, but like compared to Kris, it was like him saying something that could be considered inappropriate to a minor, but it wasn't like.
From what I recall, it's like he was texting them and they were like 17.
Mm-hmm.
So, still not ideal, but like.
But I mean, that's nothing like what Kris did.
Yeah, the level of disparity there seems to be pretty big.
I mean, it's not. Well, remember Jerry Seinfeld? 1738. I mean, come on. Like, there was a point where people didn't even care about that. I mean, I'm not saying that like that makes a justification for it, because historically people have done far worse things to even younger people. I'm just saying, let's think about this. It seems like people have become a lot more stringent on like that exact day and time is all I'm saying. Whereas psychologically, I'm not saying you can be like a 12-year-old or something, or a 13 or 14-year-old. I'm just saying like 17, you're practically almost an adult at that point. Look, pause. All I'm saying is that it's like there's such a fine line there that people think like if you were 17 years old, 364 days, 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds old, that it is like this crime on humanity as opposed to 1 second later. That's all I'm saying.
Didn't the Call Me Carson stuff happen because it was like a 17-year-old and he was 19 or something like that?
That's crazy. If he didn't do anything, if that's all that happened, that's crazy. That's I mean, even in the United States, that's acceptable depending on the state you're in.
Yeah.
Like in Florida, it's okay. And it gets weird at a certain point because it's like you could be 16 and 23 in like Florida.
Wait, what?
It's like there's like these like Romeo and Juliet.
I didn't know. Yeah, I know what those are.
It extends from like 16 to 23.
Wow.
Like when you're, or I guess when you're 17, it's like 24. Yeah, that's about it. Like you can't.
I thought it would like the cutoff would be at like maybe at most like 19. That's what I thought it was.
No,
like.
There's a cutoff from 16 and then to 23. Like basically that's an okay age gap for Florida, and then 17 and 24. But anything other than that, you can't. That's not okay, apparently.
Jesus.
But all I'm saying is like that is wild. That's a 2-year age difference. You could have been dating in high school and both been underage, and as soon as bro turns a little bit older, it's creepy, right? What?
Yeah,
It just doesn't make sense. I don't know what happened in that exact situation. All I'm saying is that this, like as described, is that way. That's all I'm saying. Is that like, I mean, people's standards seem to be like odd. They did like, it's very like if anything, if you just accept like your morals based on the law, like you're a literal moral subjectivist.
Yeah, because laws do change.
Exactly. So you have no morally objective way of telling what's right and wrong at that point. So if anything, if it was 12, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's perfectly fine. And then you'd be weird because that's actually not fine.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, back in the day, that was okay. See, that's the kind of argument some of these people make when it comes to like, figures in the past. They're like, oh, well, that was legal back then. Well, so was slavery okay back then?
I think a lot of like the majority of people do think like that. Basically, their morality comes down to what is legal at that point in time.
It's crazy. They put zero thought into what's okay or not to the point where they can accept these wild conclusions, which are way worse than somebody saying a 19-year-old and a 17-year-old isn't actually like PDF file nature.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay.
Live in a society. Boom.
But anyway, this girl, the Filipino girl, she's nice. I like it. I mess with it. I'm gonna see what I could do there. The other one, I'm sorry, but I can't. It's come to the point where I wonder
surprised you even entertained that. I would never entertain that.
See, the thing is, you gotta game is game. First of all, you gotta sharpen up the skills.
Yeah, but you're playing like Candyland with that.
What? Pause.
Yeah, that was not the best choice.
Pause. Bro, say pause. No, hell no, man. Okay. Look, all I'm saying is that
basically I'm saying you're playing a bad game.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm saying the information got worse over time. It wasn't all dumped on me at once, okay? The information gradually got worse. And so now I've decided that it's, there is no redeeming this. I mean, I should have known that a little bit before, but I'm just saying it has gotten worse over time to the point where it's clear that there is no benefit that outweighs the cost at this point. It's out of the question. Okay. So look, I've come to terms with that, but this other one, let's see what happens. I don't know. Should I go with that other guy's strategy? Cause he was saying he gets them off the apps as soon as possible. I think that makes sense.
Wait, who said that?
You remember that guy? The one that was showing us like his strategies on his phone? Yeah, the guy that used to hang out with us at our institution, and he would like he went out with us a couple times like to the
yeah, I know what you're talking about. I didn't remember him saying that though.
The one with the Valentine's pickup line. So what he was saying, he was like showing, he was like, if we start now, we can be in love by Valentine's.
Oh yeah.
Very good one. But here's the thing. He was telling us what he does is like pretty much after starting the conversation, he tries to get them to Instagram or phone number as quick as possible.
That's actually not a bad strategy.
I need to, it's already been like a day now. I need to get this one off Bumble. I need to get some sort of
removing yourself from that area. Now you're already putting in the implication that it's no longer I keep forgetting words, bro. Temporary thing.
Yeah. Right.
I think she's like in my area from what I saw in the pictures.
Damn. Okay, well that's something. But anyway.
Yeah, it is. You should move.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Okay. I guess we're off that because we kind of concluded that topic. But here's something. I was arguing with this guy on Discord, and basically his position. Actually, should I even reveal who it is? Because he's
no.
Okay. Because it's like why I was asking that though.
Yeah, don't. No, okay. We don't need.
That's fine.
I might actually just cut this little intro part out just to be safe.
I don't think it was that bad.
I think it just we don't want to be starting shit,
Okay. Well, all it really was, it wasn't even like the more serious parts of it, but It was just the statement that basically like the woman you're with should be at the top of your value hierarchy. You know, and so what? Was that just a bad statement, or are you just saying that because of the way how blatantly I phrased it?
No, it's just you hate to see it.
Oh yeah. Well, here's the thing. Yeah, here's the thing. It's like, okay, and then it's like his thing is like, oh, it can be muddied because it's like, okay, well, you place her at that point, but you also place yourself at the top, so it's like, things can get a little bit like complicated, but it's more so like he's saying like, well, it just still makes sense to keep her that high up. And so what I was saying like was that this can come to your detriment as soon as there is any problem, because frankly, when you think about it, it's like, let's say there's money trouble or something, and she wants to like let's say you have a problem to the point where your finances are no longer secure because of how much you've like commingled her with that, that it's a fact that if there's any problem to where you're separated or divorced, that this money will be being taken from you by force legally. You have really no say in that. Also, like, I would say it's watching out for yourself to not get legally married. I would say it's watching out for yourself to not live in a common law marriage state. Just these sorts of things, right? And so, like, to just place her so high up would be like, oh, why do those matter?
Without revealing too much, is our, well, I mean, I guess it's kind of out anyway. Is ours one of those states?
Not to my knowledge. I looked it up and I didn't see it on there. I think there was something prior that got ended, I believe.
Okay, good.
But I read it on the Wikipedia. I wasn't like, all I know is that, like, to my knowledge, no, it's not one.
That is a really, like, Jesus Christ, that's a horrible precedent.
Yes. And so here's the thing. I basically asked him because, let me see. Yeah. Okay. So he's basically saying like the lives of the two.
What if like gay marriage is legal in it's legal in the whole country now. Does that apply if like you're living with a roommate then?
Well, I don't know.
Because that would be the same thing basically.
Yeah, what if you were living with a person for that long? Because why does it just mean man and woman that live together?
Yeah, now that the man and woman thing is out the window, now there's really no reason why you shouldn't be applying that consistently across the board with guys that live together.
I think the U.S. is just bigoted.
I mean,
okay, so here's the thing.
I know
here's the thing. I was basically saying like, because his point was that basically you become one through the union, and that this has to be taken on by both in order to be life partners and such. Huh?
This is just Christian talking points. I don't.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm basically saying like, okay, well, what
I don't even think the Muslims believe that.
I was saying, what ought you do when your leadership is outright disregarded, right? Or when a woman you are with has already decided to betray the emotional bond she has toward you. He kind of mixed those two together, saying like it just her necessarily like, having that emotional bond broken, it just means she disrespects you, or like, to the point where it's like, oh, well, her disrespecting you doesn't mean that. I was kind of implying that cheating's a thing, and that's what the emotional bond breaking is. And also, I mean, cheating is disregarding leadership. I mean, in a very big sense, because those two, I mean, like, they can have different implications, but at the same time, yeah, they can have the same implications. It's just I wasn't directly stating that they are the exact same thing. But I was basically saying, do you think lacking the willingness to walk away because she's so high up in your value hierarchy is good or beneficial? And, I don't believe that. You have to be willing to walk away. You have to be willing to end it, because you cannot be in a position where you're getting spiritually cucked, right? Or literally.
I have a theory for why this has happened, but I'm not going to say it on here. I'll talk about it later, I guess.
No, I know exactly what you'd say.
Yeah. But yeah, this is the whole thing is you want to be at a point where you don't feel like all your eggs are tied to this one basket.
Oh. Yeah.
What?
No, I said yeah.
Oh, okay.
It just cut off a bit.
Oh, all right. So because then you don't have the emotional ties to that thing. So now if something goes wrong, you're like, okay, well, I'm not tolerating this. This is out of my, acceptable range of whatever, my terms for the contract, so to speak. So I'm just going to leave and then I'll find somebody else. But if you've already invested all your time and you've come to the conclusion that this is the one, there can be nobody else, or it might not even be that I can't get anybody else. It's the fact that just like, this is the one, it has to be this one because of X, Y, and Z. Maybe you're like an ultra, like, well, I guess you can't be a serial monogamous, but like, you know, really dedicated monogamous where it has to be this one. This is the first one, so that it has to be like that kind of shit. Then you're kind of stuck. You're going to make any kind of justification for anything that goes wrong. You're going to overlook things on purpose. And more importantly, if you're the guy in the scenario, you're just going to bend to their will because now it's like, oh, well, what if she leaves? What if she's not happy with this? Now I got to deal with this. And I mean, you know, we know what happened. So, you know.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, it's just, it really is the case that you can't seem like, we talked about this before. You can't seem like you're the one that's more dependent on her than the other way around. I mean, that's the point at which she starts feeling like she should defy you because, like, think about it from the think about this. Think about this. Think about how do I? Because I didn't want to put it from the perspective of like a parent-child relationship, but then I was going to put it from the perspective of a dog and dog owner relationship. But it's like, okay, so you get, but like those are positions in which there is somebody clearly leading and somebody clearly following, right? I guess we'll put it in the dog way because that sounds better, honestly.
What about older sibling, young? What? No, that's not better. That's
not better. What are you talking about? Okay, so
older best friend, younger best friend.
No, I don't know. Mentor and apprentice.
There we go.
Yeah, that actually does work. I think that's actually the dog owner one I like, but you know, the mentor apprentice relationship is fitting. Okay, so it's fitting enough to use. You know, at the point at which the mentor is only, you know, or I guess like imagine a situation in which this mentor is fine with the defiance of his and maybe you're not fine with it, but like more so just the unwillingness to say I will no longer mentor you is a sign that the apprentice can do as this person wants, or like as the apprentice wants, because there's no point at which the mentor will stop the mentoring or will stop providing any sort of like support. And so, you know, that literally just, I mean, it makes you a doormat. I mean, like that is, I mean, honestly, in any relationship in which you are going to continue giving yourself to somebody else, despite whatever that person does unconditionally in any case, right? That leaves you open to being taken advantage of. It's just clear. That's clear. And so I don't even really have to expand upon that because that's just known. But here's the thing. If you are not willing to leave whatever happens, right? You know, you can't really say I unconditionally love somebody, right? Because to do that, you know, you would have to necessarily withstand cheating. You would necessarily have to withstand any sort of disrespect toward you. You would necessarily have to accept not being the leader if you already view that as something that's important to be as the man. So you're necessarily keeping yourself from not like you basically torn down the walls that could prevent you, or I guess the barriers that could prevent you from being in such a bad situation by saying out the gate or like off rip, you know, that I'm going to be with you no matter what.
I mean, even outside of that, unconditional love is it's impossible because the prerequisite for a loving or even just a respectful relationship would be some kind of value identification that the other person has. But if it's unconditional, that implies that there are no values that are make or break for the relationship, which means you have no value appraisal system, which would mean it wouldn't be possible for you to fall in love or respect with anyone because it's just everybody can do whatever they want, however they want. So there's no values in place to begin with at all.
Yeah. You know, I've had this like thing where, you know, well, so you know the show 600 Pound whatever life or whatever something. It's not, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
You know what, is that what it's called?
Life or whatever.
Is that what it's called? Okay, so here's the thing. Like, I know, like, my parents, like, if I've ever seen it with them, I think it was like, you know, I think my mom might ask my dad, like, would you still love me if I was that weight? Or like, I was saying, like, I wouldn't love somebody necessarily, like, if they, well, you know, and not even just necessarily, but, you know, like, it's, the thing is, like, it makes sense to not be with someone who's 600 pounds. Like, you know, it's just, you have no respect for the people around you that have to support you because of that. if that was your intention to gain the weight, I mean, you know, like, and just like have feeding as a habit, I know it can form from like some sort of trauma, which it's like, you should take care of that. It's on you to not inconvenience everybody in your life that greatly over something that you could have tried and overcome. You know, it's not to say like don't have the trauma to begin with, but it's like you should be able to internalize that properly, no matter what it takes, so that you don't have to be doing this to people. Or I mean, just accept that these people wouldn't be in your life if you don't do that. I mean, that's more on you at that point. But you know, to expect people to be that way for you, and to you know, because first of all, if you care about these people, why would you want to do that to them? It's more of a perspective of like, how does that make you feel good as a person? Like that would, it's still a self-interest perspective, because it's like, you know, just to be that overweight, first of all, isn't good for your health, but also like the relationships you have are things you should care about. Otherwise, why do you have them? And so to sort of make them so shitty is betraying something you value. You're giving, like, basically to have this sort of dependency on whatever it is to give up everything for one thing. And to not have it is to give up that one thing for everything, right? And so it makes more sense to have everything rather than this one thing. Otherwise, you're just saying this one thing's more important than the people in your life, which at that point, why would you want to be with somebody who thinks that way, right? So now it's like, okay, well, why would I want to have unconditional love for somebody who treats others that way and treats me that way specifically? That's what matters a lot to me, the way I'm treated by that person. And so, you know, to say like, okay, you know, I'm just going to remain with this person. If that person is unwilling to do anything about this, I can understand it maybe from a perspective where it's like, yeah, the trauma was so bad, this person couldn't handle it, but more so like, you know, is still wanting to change. I can understand why you would perhaps, you know, still be at the perspective where it's like, okay, well, I want to help this person make it through this. I care about this person so deeply because of the emotional bond we formed. But, you know, for somebody who just completely disregards all of that, it doesn't make sense to continue loving that person. Like, why would you, like, yes, you have that previous emotional bond, but this person has betrayed it so deeply that it just doesn't make rational sense to continue trying to make an effort for this person.
Yeah, I mean, you could even go without it being like respect for others around you type thing. If you can't keep yourself healthy, and clearly you have no respect for yourself, and if you don't have respect for yourself, then that's already not attractive. Why would you expect anybody to stay with you on that alone? Not even taking into account how if they can't respect themselves, they won't respect you type thing.
That too. That is true.
And then on top of that, if you want to get even more relationship based, then think about the children too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just, I'm speaking more so from the perspective of like, I mean, if anything, okay. So lack of self-respect can materialize in different ways. This is one of them. I mean, I would say it's a worse one because of how much of an inconvenience it is. I would say like there are other forms of self-disrespect that I could understand to the point where it's like, I would still want to help somebody work through that as long as it's like something that person's willing to change, you know, but like, in the sense of like this just being so much worse than a lot of other forms of it, not every form, but a lot of other forms of it, makes it so that it's like, this is something I'm far more likely to not be willing to help with, because you let yourself get to that point where you have to put so much more work in to fix it.
Yeah, especially if it's like an everyday thing where like, hey, you're like reminding them over time and shit, which I mean,
stop eating seed oils.
Yeah. Fucking guzzling down canola oil bottles.
Yeah, stop drinking that canola oil, Betty.
Or
water. You guys, seriously, guys. No, kitty, that's my canola oil. That's a bad kitty.
Yeah, I think that kind of hits that on the head. I mean, yeah, anything else you wanted to bring up?
Yes, but let's see. I need to tell this chick what I like to eat now, because she's now asking what I like to eat, and then I have to make it a thing. You know, I should probably recommend steak, because it's like, you know, hey, that's based.
And you usually have to pay more money for steak.
Ah, I see. Bigger investment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
bigger investment, which, you know, is not great on your end, but
in the long term,
for the visual, it's pretty good.
Oh, that too. I was just thinking about, you know, something else. But anyway, here's what I'm going to show us, because for the fellows out there that are down bad, right? Because there's some fellows that are clearly so down bad that they will remain with anyone or anything that, you know, they can get, apparently. And so That wasn't a dig at anybody, but I'm just saying that is a general statement. But here is a down bad tutorial. Okay. We're going to watch a man talk about how you viewers can get some if you are extremely in a drought. Okay. So we're going to watch this
tutorial on how to get yourself out of a drought if you're down bad. First of all, each state is different, so you have to figure out which website allows you to look up the registered offenders near you. This is
what?
But it's kind of fun because it's
Okay, we're gonna watch a little more. He's gonna put us on game. Trust.
like finally finding what you want out of the Goodwill bins, and you've been there all day. It feels like you earned it. Oh my God, I just thought I found a baddie. Okay, I'll settle for this one. This is not a bad thrift shop. It's not a Carhartt jacket, but it's like a Nike fleece. So then you want to type up their name on either Facebook or Instagram, whatever you can find. More than likely, it's going to be Facebook. And then just make sure it's the same person. Like right here, it definitely is. I see how she kind of catfish and cropped out her forehead, but it's cool. This is
So, the problem is they're going to probably be a little older, but he's showing his game, okay?
This is where a lot of you guys were freezing up. All you want to do is add them and send them a message. It's kind of crazy how she's a social worker. Like you never expect the people that be on this list. And then you want to check their charges to see if they're freaky enough for your liking. I don't really know how to say this on TikTok.
Is black really an ethnicity?
No.
How would that? Why would?
Well, depends on how you're defining black.
So, do you guys know that guy Mo Lester? Oh yeah, she did Mo Lester to somebody under the age of 18. So that's perfect for me. All you need from the first message is a simple, hey, if she don't like you, she gonna answer. She said, do I know you? Here's where it's crucial. Here's where you want to cap a little bit. I said, no, but you look good, and I seen you on my suggested LOL. I should have also said, are you from here? Just to start the conversation, just a night.
What is the guy wearing? Like goggles or something? You see that?
Yeah, I was trying to figure it out in the beginning.
Even give her a chance to turn me down because one message isn't enough. Hi, you're very handsome, but you look young. How old are you? Okay, this is perfect. It's not started up fully, but a couple more kick starts and we're going to get it running.
It's like a lawnmower.
19. I learned calling people love. I learned that trick from being a catfish. I used to catfish as a girl, and I learned what they
Bro.
You used to catfish as a girl. Bro, this guy is devious.
Here. Oh my God, you're a baby. I can't do it. I'm sorry. This is where you can't get discouraged. You got to fight through the big body scream because she doesn't know that we know about what she did to that little boy. Show me what adults do.
Yeah, that is, bro. Okay. If you're ever hitting up an older woman, that isn't a predator. Okay.
Bro,
I'm just saying now that is something. I have this like counselor from my high school that I have on Facebook for some reason.
This is not going in a great direction.
Single time a girl calls you a baby or calls you young, spam this line. It's not just for this method. Okay, I'm convinced. LOL. As long as you can handle me. Here, take my number. Put some respect on my name. There's always an open.
Bro, it's like put some respect on my name, bro. You catfish as a girl and you're trying to get predators.
Opening. There's always an open gap. Look what I just caused. I just shook up the earth. It's raining. Got it.
Bro, okay. So like on Jaw, that was this guy is like on some other level of hunting. Let's be real. That is crazy.
Improvise, adapt, overcome.
Yes, sir. Okay, well, I guess I'm not going to speak more on that because we already had an incident earlier in this episode where we had to avoid it a little bit from here on out. I don't know, guys. What do you guys think about this chat? Is it out of pocket? Am I going too far?
Is it so over?
Is it so over? It's so Amr.
That's true.
It's so Amr. Or are we so Greg?
I think we should make so Greg a thing.
We're so Greg.
Yeah. It's got a nice ring to it.
It's so Amr. Sounds like a slur. Amr.
An Amish slur.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you call the Amish people.
Amr.
Amr. Yeah, go back to having no computers, you Amr. Oh, little Amr wants to be in the city.
Oh, look at Amr. He's a Rumspringer.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So,
end it here.
I suppose so. I don't know. My takeaway is don't be a predator. Actually, probably don't associate with predators. That video was funny for the sake of like, yeah, it is free game, but I don't think you want to be associated with someone that does that on Ja though. That's like that. Those people are pretty evil, even if they're women. So I just, man, you got to stay away from that. Stay away from even, I mean, like, what's worse, man? One of those or one of the ones that had tattoos and piercings?
This is not a question we're going to debate right now.
Yeah, so I guess Craig doesn't want to give his opinion on that out of fear.
Shit, that makes it sound worse. I mean, obviously, the ones that have been arrested for that
activity that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
But the other ones are still bad.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess that's my takeaway. Nice try, Diddy.
The opposite one, to be honest.
Nice try, Diddy. And also, just don't associate with women that have these red flags, as we listed before.
You're gonna full stop after women. I was like, damn.
Every woman's an agent of the state. Disassociate immediately.
That's true.
And make sure to calorie max. Because if you don't have energy, it might be that your body needs some calories. Because they're necessarily energy for the body. As long as you're not eating poison. Don't eat that slop. Don't eat seed oils. Don't eat high fructose corn syrup as much as you can, but the seed oils are far worse. Yeah, I don't know. Eat candy, actually, if as long as it has good contents in it, or if you make it yourself, because I know Georgie was talking, like I was watching a Georgie Saladino episode of Classic. I was watching their third conversation. Georgie's talking about how like a pound of candy a day could increase metabolism. It's pretty epic. He was also talking about aspirin, how much you could be taking, which he was saying like they gave diabetics like 9 to 10 grams of it and their insulin sensitivity improved, which 9 to 10 grams is a lot of aspirin. But that's the point, guys. Make sure to stay healthy, stay beautiful. Pause if you're a man. If you're a woman, hit me up and, be added to the roster. All right, guys. That's been.
Just going to say, this is like the first episode in a while where we didn't talk anything about diet, but you just, last 5 minutes.
I had to get it in. I had to squeeze it in, slip it in, if you will. Pause. No Cosby.
I'm gonna do it.
No Cosby. I'm gonna do it. Do not come. Do not come. I'm gonna come. Soda. All right, guys. This was the podcast.
The podcast ever. Wait, did they hear that? Did they? Yeah.
There we go. All right, guys. We'll see you next week.